At 5 only on SNY.
In Big East history, Greg Robinson believes it's just a matter of time before his teams prove they too can be a part of the Syracuse football tradition. The Pitt Panthers have been advertised as a team with a lot of weapons. Dave Wanstead is hoping today's the day his Panthers show off some of that star power. Today, we lift the curtain with the Big East Game of the Week. This afternoon, we're inside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York for the Big East opener in 2008. It's the Syracuse Orange hosting the Pitt Panthers. Hi, everybody. Along with former Pitt quarterback John Congemi, I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us on the Big East Game of the Week. Quint Kesnick, our third member of our broadcast team, will be checking in momentarily. John, both teams are coming off of victories, but there's a lot of expectations in Pittsburgh, and I think Dave Wanstead's still waiting for some of those athletes to explode.
Well, I think, Mike, high expectations was the theme for Dave Wanstead and his Pitt Panthers going into the season, but a home loss in the opener against Bowling Green really set them back. Now, they got the much-needed win last week with a victory over Iowa, and that's made things brighter and made people smile around Pittsburgh, but they're still waiting for this offense to break out. Now, LaShawn McCoy is the big hitter at the running back spot. Hasn't made a big run yet, and with Bill Stahl, the young quarterback, gaining experience every week, this could be the week the Panthers break out.
I mentioned Syracuse coming off a win, John, which is great for the team, of course, but it did very little beating Northeastern to quiet the critics here at Syracuse.
Well, Greg Robinson's task this year coming in was to show that his team made measured progress, and so far, that has not happened. Now, you see Robinson in pregame talking with athletic director Dr. Daryl Gross, but it's a new season for Syracuse and the Orange. The first Big East game in a league that doesn't have a dominant team, so everybody's feeling up about this game, the home game against Pitt.
Well, there's the Syracuse Orange. The kickoff is coming up. Also coming up today, Cam Dantley, the starting quarterback, spends time with John at Congemi's quarters. Quentin Otto, the Syracuse mascot, hit the streets of Syracuse. Plus, we'll hear from Randy Edsall, the head coach of UConn, after their big, dramatic win over Louisville last night.
Sometimes just getting to retirement seems impossible. That's where we come in. As one of the nation's 401k leaders, the Principal offers many simple ways to plan for retirement, making it easier for you to get where you're going. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
The Charleston Classic is coming to the brand new Carolina First Center for the inaugural event. Be there as Clemson, College of Charleston, ETSU, Hofstra, SIU Edwardsville, TCU, Temple, and Western Michigan square off on November 14th through the 16th for 3 action-packed days and 12 fantastic matchups. Travel packs are on sale now. For tickets, call 843-953-2632 or visit charlestonclassic.com. Get your tickets now.
Today's Big East game is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Champion. It's how you play. Ranger. See it up close at your local Polaris Ranger dealer. Tradewinds Beach Resort. The official beach resort of the St. Petersburg Bowl. And by Outback Steakhouse. Brave on. Outside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, it's a rainy day, as the umbrellas would indicate, of course. Inside, the Syracuse fans wondering what kind of team will show up after their first victory last week against Northeastern.
Well, that's the big question for Syracuse, because they have to start fast, and I think that's a big key on both sides.
Let's go downstairs and check in with Quint Kesnick. Quint?
I want to show you guys a motivational tool used by Pitt coach Dave Wanstead. This is a mouse trap. Hence, today could be a trap game for Pitt, coming off a big win over Iowa. Maybe looking ahead to next Thursday's showdown on ESPN with South Florida. Dave Wanstead put mouse traps all over the Pitt football facility this week. Tried to get his team to avoid the mental letdown. Now, 2 things working in their favor. Number 1, they've only won 2 games in the last 13 meetings here in the Dome. And number 2, Coach Wanstead said USC's loss on Thursday caught the eye of his team.
Well, that's a great point, Quint. Earlier this week, we talked with Coach Wannstedt. He said it's kind of early in the season for a trap game, but obviously he feels that that's a possibility here today.
Well, I think it's a great point with USC going on the road and really collapsing at Oregon State. I mean, that's a notice for the entire country that everybody wrote USC into that national championship game. And right now, you know, anything can happen on any given day. So Syracuse has to come out with a positive attitude, and Pittsburgh needs to know they need to take care of business in all three facets.
And there's Nico Rahul, the senior out of Huntington Station, New York, ready to kick this football game off. The deep man, Lerod Stevens Howling and Andre Wright. This will be the freshman Wright at his 5. He's got some running room, looks for the seam, and he's up close to the 30-yard line. A return of 23 yards for the freshman Andre Wright. And here comes the quarterback, Bill Stahl, a junior, leads the Big East right now, John, in completions with 20 a game.
And this is a guy that's gaining experience every week in and week out. He's getting better. What really he needs to improve in is his third down percentage. Moving the chains and talking with offensive coordinator Matt Cavanaugh, that's the one thing that he's looking to improve on today.
All right, the all-time series, Pittsburgh and Syracuse, 30, 30, and 3. McCoy in the backfield. Stahl wants to put it up early. Looking and finding his man at the 40-yard line. And that one is complete. A gain of 12 yards. And it goes to Derek Kinder. That's his 12th catch of the season. Let's take a look down at our starting lineups brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. And you look at Oderick Turner. He was a first-team All-Big East selection 2 years ago and waiting to get back into form now as he comes off a knee surgery, missing it last season. C.J. Davis up front. He's a 4-year senior. He shed 30 pounds, and they say he's playing his best football of his career. So first down for the Panthers on the very first play of the ball game. This is LaShawn McCoy bouncing to the outside, back inside over the 45, up to about the 47-yard line. Let's check the defensive team now for the Orange of Syracuse. See Arthur Jones, 17.5 tackles last year, having the same type of season this year. The linebacking core, the senior Jake Flaherty. 95 tackles last season, number 1, 27 this year. And Bruce Williams, the former Mr. Everything receiver from right here in Syracuse, he's the quarterback in the secondary at safety. Stahl on second down, checking off his receivers, finds his man, and again, it's number 81, Derek Kinder. Gain of 9 that time, John.
That's great patience in the pocket that time by the redshirt junior quarterback, Bill Stahl. Did a great job of holding his own, very composed in the pocket, and finding his third receiver on that particular play.
You know, John Kinder comes in with 11 catches. He got 2 already this afternoon, but Wannstedt saying that it's taken him a while to get back to form of 2006.
Well, it really has, and it's going to take a while for this offense to gel, but you can tell Matt Cavanaugh on the very first play coming out being very aggressive.
Ball at the 47 of Syracuse. First drive for Pittsburgh. Play action, Stahl looking for that home run ball, comes back, and it's complete again and knocked loose. Bruce Williams with the hit at the 30-yard line. Again, it was Kinder. Now that time it was Turner on the reception.
Pretty good throw on the outside to Turner, but he just doesn't make the catch. Play action fake. Stahl does a nice job of looking downfield. May have held it just a touch too long because Oderick Turner was in and out of the route. If this ball goes a little bit earlier, I think he enables number 15 to close the cushion, Bruce Williams, and make the big hit.
So it's second down and 10. Ball still at the 47-yard line. Finger in motion at the top of your screen. This is LaShawn McCoy. Inside the 40. Dropped at about the 37-yard line. Time now for a look at our game-changing performer, brought to you by Pontiac.
Yeah, and it's LaShawn McCoy. You see his season numbers, 5 touchdowns. He's averaging just over 80 yards per game, but this is the guy that can change the game in one run. The big thing for the Panthers is he needs to make those 4, 5, and 6-yard runs just as important as the 25 and 30-yard runs. Keep the chains moving, but he's the key for the Panthers offense.
Great point. Dave Wannstedt saying that McCoy sometimes looking for that huge hole that you could drive a truck through. Hole isn't that big, so a 5-yard gain sometimes turns into 3.
And here's a big key for the Panthers on third down.
3rd and 4. This one swings it out, and it's complete inside the 30-yard line. Gain of 9 that time. So here's Doran Dickerson. He plays wide out last week, tight end. This guy's all over the football field. Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com.
Yeah, you're right, Glee. I mean, Doran Dickerson has played on defense. He's played multiple positions on offense, and that's a key on 3rd down that Bill Stahl is able to come back and hit somebody in the flat. Nice, easy pitch and catch.
McCoy in the backfield with Conridge Collins now. Ball at the 28-yard line. There's some running room inside the 25. Again, it's McCoy dropped at the 24-yard line. Mealy on the tackle, along with Bruce Williams again.
Well, Syracuse has to find a way to keep the Panthers out of the end zone on this initial drive, because right now, you know, the mood is kind of somber in the building. Not a big crowd, not a lot of fan support right now, getting behind Coach Greg Robinson in this defense. So they have to come up with a big play here to keep the Panthers off the scoreboard.
Last week, they were 3 for 3 on 4th down, but Wannstedt saying that only means that we were not successful on 3rd down. Here's 2nd and 6. Stahl with the fade, looking for the corner. And this one's incomplete. Again, looking for Oderick Turner, the junior from Teaneck, New Jersey.
When that's nice coverage by the sophomore Mike Holmes out of Jacksonville, Florida. Did a great job of squeezing the receiver, Oderick Turner, to the outside. He's going to get a good push off and a good run, and watch him squeeze the receiver and make it a tough throw for Bill Stahl. That's an excellent job by Mike Holmes.
Then Greg Robinson saying that Mike Holmes was taking some heat after that Penn State game. We thought his nickname might be turning into toast, but he actually said he made some big plays. He's made some great plays so far here this year. The ball at the 24-yard line. This drive started at the 30, the 9th play of the drive. 3rd and 6 from the shotgun. Stahl flips it out, and it's complete. And LaShawn McCoy gets nailed immediately, so they'll be facing a 4th down situation and a kicking situation for Pitt.
It's exactly what this Syracuse defense needed on 3rd down to come up big. They really turn away the receiver, the home run shot, and Stahl on 3rd down. They were able to convert the first one to Doran Dickerson. This time a great catch, but really minimal yardage and a big hit by Mike Holmes.
There's Connor Lee, 8 for 11 career-wise from 40 plus. This one will be spotted at the 30, so it's a 40-yard kick. Right down the middle of the freeway, so Connor Lee puts the first 3 points on the board. He is now 1 for 3 so far this year from that distance. So the Pitt Panthers take the football, move it down for 3. It's 3-0 Pitt.
Car fired up with Bosch Platinum Plus 2 spark plugs. Now the offer ends September 27th, so whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Your sense of style, your sense of organization. Some show where you've been or where you're going. But there's only one wallet that can show you how to manage, how to save, grow, transfer, and overall, control what you put inside it. Introducing the virtual wallet from PNC, a high-definition online view of your money. PNC, leading the way.
There's only one utility vehicle that can do it all. Only one that can outrun. Only one that can outpull. Only one that can outride. And only one that can outwork every utility vehicle out there. Only Ranger. Hardest working, smoothest riding. Get financing as low as 2.99% and up to $800 during a Power Play sales event.
This is Kirk Herbstreit. You know you're a true Outback fan when you think great coverage is crispy bacon wrapped around a filet on our mixed grill with sweet shrimp and sautéed scallops. To you, cutting up the middle means slicing into our Outback Special sirloin. 17 spices, big, bold flavors seared in. Great picks, starting at $9.99 for a limited time. Go, go, go. Crave on.
Hey, how'd you learn to do that? Come on, what's your secret? Would you take lessons? You got your own pro?
Yep, I got a bunch of them.
What do you mean you got a bunch of them?
Here, order your own.
Get 12 months of Golf Digest with easy-to-follow tips and techniques for just $14.97. Order today and receive this DVD absolutely free.
Call now to order Golf Digest, 800-543-6200. That's 800-543-6200.
And welcome back inside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. 10:37 to go in the first quarter. 3-0 Pittsburgh, as Connor Lee nails a 40-yard field goal as the Pitt Panthers take their first drive for 3 points, John.
Well, I thought both teams, the Panthers came out offensively and they were very aggressive in that opening drive. And Syracuse, credit them to holding Pittsburgh to a field goal opportunity, which they converted for 3 points. But they did a nice job of bowling their backs on second and third down, and credit the play of cornerback Mike Holmes. He did an excellent job in back-to-back plays.
Luke Briggs, a walk-on from Midland, Michigan, ready to kick off for Pitt. The Panther drive, 10 plays, 47 yards in 4 minutes and 23 seconds. And this one will go to the deep man, Mike Holmes, at the 9-yard line. Holmes over the 20, 25, 30. He's got some running room. Holmes, 40, 30, 20, 10. Mike Holmes has taken it to the house. So John Congemi, not only does Syracuse hold Pittsburgh on third down, forcing the kick, Mike Holmes returns the kick 90 yards for a touchdown.
That'll make you smile on the sidelines. Head coach Greg Robinson happy about what Mike Holmes goes 90 yards, and he never lost the stride. He made 2 back-to-back defensive plays that kept Pitt to a field goal, and then he goes 90 for the touchdown.
Patrick Shadle, the senior from Morgantown, West Virginia, on for the PAT. And Syracuse has taken the lead 7-3.
Mike Holmes got some great blocks on that special teams, and that'll get this crowd very excited.
Mike Holmes, only a sophomore from Jacksonville, Florida, 90 yards for the touchdown.
The holidays are coming. So are our friends, our family, and our neighbors. Welcome them home. Remember, your entire order ships for just $2.95 every day. Overstock.com. At home with the O.
They call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Prices today, they just keep going up. No, Max, put that back. But not when the kids go to the doctor. Those visits don't cost a thing. I said, no, Max, you don't need the one with the toy. And with the kids getting sick a lot, that could really add up. Okay, you can have it. Just don't tell your mom.
You're fast, but he'll make you faster. You run hard, he'll show you how to run harder. And you're good, but he'll make you better.
This fall, discover the incredible story of a coach.
We shouldn't play him.
I'm playing.
You're damn right you are.
And the player who would become the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy.
Don't you let anyone steal history away from you.
The Express, rated PG, in theaters Friday, October 10th.
7-3, Syracuse takes the lead.
Outside really well, and that allows the returner Mike Holmes never to break stride, and he just hit it for 90 yards right in front of the Pitt bench.
Well, Pittsburgh now will have their second possession. Syracuse, the last kickoff return for a touchdown was last year, so that's one department where they've had success. It was Max Suter, went 93 yards at Louisville. This one's Andre Wright at the 10 again. Andre Wright Over the 20, 25. He's got some run room over the 40. Penalty flag dropped at about the 32-yard line. A return of 27 yards for the freshman, Andre Wright, out of Milford Academy, New York.
The return, number 8, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Randy Smith with the call, the referee. Let's take a look at the 90-yard return.
On the touchdown, you're going to see inside out. You're going to see Canny go out, and a nice job by number 33, Ben Maljevic, inside outside, and that allows the lane to go right up the Pitt sideline. Then it's make the kicker miss, and it's pure speed down the sideline, 90 yards for Mike Holmes. He's had a terrific afternoon defensively already early in this game, and he adds on special teams.
There's Mike Holmes, a sophomore from Jacksonville, 5'11", 185 pounds. Started 8 games last year as a rookie. And the more reps you get, the better football player you become. 1st and 10 now for the Pitt Panthers. Stahl feels some pressure, and he's going to throw this one away. It falls incomplete, out of bounds, and pressure is something that Syracuse has not come up with so far this year.
Yeah, they haven't done a nice job of collapsing the pocket early, but on first down, looked like they did a great job of getting some pressure on the edge to make Bill Stahl uncomfortable. Bud Tribby was coming from the short side, and a wise decision by Bill to throw the football away.
And you look at the defensive front for Syracuse, 4 sacks on the year. They only had 9 all of last season. McCoy, the single running back behind Stahl under center. This one. Panthers man threw it just behind Cedric McGee, the junior from Fort Lauderdale. Let's take a look now at the principal financial group edge to the game.
Well, for Pittsburgh, it was start fast, and I felt the Panthers needed to get confidence in going down, and that's exactly what they did. They put a 10-play drive together for 47 yards, kicked the field goal, but the special teams let them down, and now this crowd is back into it. So whatever they did in that first drive has been wiped away from that kick return.
Last week, Dave Wanstead said we went 3 for 3 on 4th down because we just weren't getting it down on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Now they're facing a 3rd and 10. Stahl from the gun. Little bubble screen, and it's complete up over the 25-yard line. And it's O'Derrick Turner on the receiving end.
That's going to be very close to a first down. A nice call by offensive coordinator Matt Cavanaugh. Had a lot of white shirts out in front. Just a nice job, and he's going to get this ball cut inside. And look at all those bodies coming outside. Just a nice job and a good running, but it's going to come out about half a yard short of that first down.
So once again, the Pitt Panthers come up shy on 3rd down on the year, 39%. So far 0 for 2. Dave Breitis has punted 15 times, only 1 fair catch so far this year. Breitis, the Big East Special Teams Player of the Week against Iowa. Last week averaged 47.8. He had a 60 and a 57. The whistles will stop this one before he gets the football off his left foot.
May have a delay of game against the Panthers.
Kicking team, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So the 27-yard kickoff return by Wright was nullified, more or less, called back because of a penalty. And now Breitis will be kicking a little bit deeper from his territory.
You see the Panthers have done a nice job in that category with penalties against.
I'll tell you what, John, we've got some good kickers in this game. Breitis, I mentioned the fact, 60 and 57. He had a 57-yard punt going at the 1-yard line against Iowa last week. This one's going to hit at about the 45 and go out of bounds. And it's a good field position for the Orange on their second, or actually their first. 35-yard punt. We're in the Syracuse Dome, and the Orange lead it by 4.
I get out and I ride with my buddies every weekend, you know. We go out and get after it. Like today, we hit one section when everyone stopped, second guessed it. I just kept going. Rock here, rock there. I just got a handful, and there she went.
True all-wheel drive, new active descent control, legendary ride and handling. Polaris, the world's toughest ATVs. Polaris Power event. Get to your participating dealer for up to $800 in rebates and as low as 3.99% APR on select ATVs.
Let go! Just let go!
Oh, to just let go.
Let's go!
Just let go! Just let go for the fun. Just let go for the adventure. For the lazy and the crazy times where the ocean meets the sun. In this sandy white oasis. oasis. No matter what your pace is, you can get away, while away, hide away, break away. Trade winds island resort. Just let go. Oh, come on, just let go.
The latest fall fashions have now arrived at K&G. And during our wardrobe event, you'll find great low prices on all the styles you need to create a new look. Or two. K&G Fashion Superstore.
Selling your car, truck, or motorcycle can be a nightmare. Big Bucks Auto, it's easy. Call 888-44-BUCKS or go to BigBucksAuto.com. Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll buy your car within 20 minutes, even if it's leased or financed. We do all the paperwork. It's simple. No costly ads or psychos coming to your home. No bait and switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car. Don't sell or trade your vehicle until you call Big Bucks Auto. 888-44-BUCKS.
The latest fall fashions have now arrived at K&G. And during our wardrobe event, you'll find great low prices on all the styles you need to create a new look. Or two. K&G Fashion Superstore.
And we're back inside the Carrier Dome. It's 7-3 Syracuse on top of Pittsburgh, and Syracuse returning a kickoff 90 yards, so this is their first possession offensively of the game, and they start with a good field position at the 35-yard line. And the handoff to Brinkley. He's up over the 45, up to about the 49-yard line. And how about the quarterback, Cameron Dantley, John?
Well, you like his demeanor in getting to talk with him yesterday. He's very calm, very assured of himself, and he has a lot of poise and confidence for a young man, a former walk-on. You know, he finally gets his opportunity, and he never gave up on that opportunity to be the starter here.
And more from Dantley at halftime on Kangemi's corner. Interesting conversation. A nice kid, very well spoken. And he has a certain calmness at quarterback, the coaching staff says. Wants to go upstairs, a short pass, it's complete inside Pittsburgh territory. This one goes to his tight end, Mike Owen. Now let's take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. You see Curtis Brinkley, already 2 100-yard games, actually 145 and 143, and the strength of the Syracuse offense, obviously, is the running game. And up front, they have 2 seniors and 3 sophomores. Jim McKenzie, the sophomore center, really caught the eye of Mitch Browning, the offensive coordinator. Loves his work ethic, playing some outstanding football. Third down situation. Had to get just to the 45, and Brinkley picks up the first down. A gain of 2. Let's check the Pitt Panthers defensively. You see Rashad Duncan. Pitt coaching staff says he could be the most underrated defensive lineman in the Big East. Always grades very high. And at the linebackers, Austin Ransom, a former defensive back walk-on, 9 tackles against Iowa last week. And then back there in the secondary, the leader of that secondary, Eric Thatcher, making his 16th consecutive start at safety.
If I'm Syracuse, I'd like to take a shot right here.
Brinkley off the left side, inside the 40. He's got some running room down to the 35-yard line. Gain of 9 that time for Brinkley.
Great movement by the left side of that offensive line. They do a great job of winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. You're going to see everybody here just coming outside, and great cutback, great instinct by the running back, Curtis Brinkley. He sees the hole to the inside, makes a good lateral move, goes north and south, and gets Syracuse in a nice second down situation.
3 carries, 15 yards already for Curtis Brinkley. He says it's now or never his senior year. More on that after the carry. Brinkley with the pitch, trying to turn that corner, and he's dragged down. Good job that time by Jabal Sheard, the 6'4", 250-pound sophomore from Hollywood Hills, Florida. Let's take a look now at the principal financial group edge of the game Syracuse line.
Syracuse has a load of confidence with that special teams return, a 90-yard touchdown, and now they've got some rhythm on offense in their first series. So if they can feed off of that special teams play, Cameron Dantley's got him moving up and down the field right now.
First and 10, the ball at the 31 of Pittsburgh. Brinkley again. He's going to be the workhorse, of course. He's hit, but not until he's inside the 30-yard line. Big number 40, Scott McKillop, making the initial contact. Gain of 4 again.
And Glee, I think a big thing for the confidence of Syracuse offensively is winning on first down. You know, we talked with Bitch Browning yesterday about how many first downs they wanted to get in the game, and they want to get 22 first downs, and Greg Robinson knows this offense to do that. That offensive line has to play well, and right now they're doing a good job on first down.
Dantley looks, fires, had his man at the 20-yard line, and it was dropped. Damone Merkerson, a defensive back. We were told yesterday that he would play some offense. I wasn't sure he was going to play this early offensively. We're inside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. It's the Big East opener in 2008. Pittsburgh and Syracuse. Along with John Congemi and Quint Kesnick, I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us on the Big East Game of the Week here on the Big East Network.
Well, Mike, going back to that play, you know, getting confidence, that was an easy pitch and catch, and that's why they're in third in a medium situation now. They would have had an easy first down.
Only 25% third down conversions this year, this time out of the shotgun. Twin receivers at the top of your screen. Dantley looking left again, looking for that corner, has his man. It's a touchdown. It's Dante Davis. 27 yards, and Syracuse is on the board again. Dante Davis came in with 12 catches. He missed the final 10 games last year with a hand injury. That's his first touchdown.
What a great adjustment by Dante Davis. It's just a wheel route. Cameron Dantley puts enough air onto this football for his wide receiver to turn to the outside, locate the football, and ensure the catch for 6.
So the 27-yard touchdown comes on a 3rd and 6. Got that Pittsburgh secondary napping. And here's Patrick Shadle on for a second PAT right down the middle. 8 plays, 55 yards in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. And the Orange up 14-3. John, let's go back and relive the touchdown.
Well, Dante Davis does a nice job. It's just a wheel route to the short side. You're going to see him go outside. But watch the adjustment of the foot on the football. The ball's outside. It's not a great throw, but it's enough air under the football by Dantley for his receiver Davis to turn, locate the football, and then get in the end zone. That's a good job by that wideout, making his quarterback look really good. Cameron did a nice job of hanging in the pocket and putting some air under the football, but credit Davis for locating it and getting in for 6.
John Dantley making his 4th start this year, but 5th overall. Last year, he came off the bench in the second half and had success against Pittsburgh. He went 15 of 27 for $189 and 2 touchdowns, and he said yesterday that is a big difference when you know you've had success against a team regardless of what season you're in.
Well, we talked about playing with confidence. Offensively, the Orange need to play with confidence, and that'll help you. 8 plays, 55 yards, all culminating on a 27-yard touchdown from Dantley to Davis.
Well, Greg Robinson rather, telling us yesterday that this team is close. He knows a lot of people doesn't believe him, but this team is close, and when they explode, they're going to explode. Maybe today's the day. Nico Rahul ready to kick off for Syracuse once again. High kick taken by Andre Wright for the 3rd time, this time at the 12-yard line. And again, he has some running room. He's up to the 30-yard line, a gain of 18 on the return. Paul Chiaro, the senior, the veteran player for Syracuse, making the tackle. Hey fans, you can win a trip and game tickets to Tradewinds Beach Resort in the St. Petersburg Bowl, warm, sunny Florida. Register to win at justletgo.com/bowl. And John Congemi, think of it, a tropical view, 4 nights directly on the white sandy beach on Florida's Gulf Coast, along with 2 premium game tickets to the St. Petersburg Bowl. Doesn't sound bad.
Mike, I'm all for it. Let's do it.
That means I have to share a room with you, or
no? We'll get another room. We'll get somebody to pitch in.
All right, this time the Panthers are keeping it on the ground, and LaRod Stevens-Howling gets the carry, picks up 7 yards. Stevens-Howling, the starting tailback, running back for this team 2 years in a row before a guy by the name of LaShawn McCoy came on board. But he had a huge game against Syracuse 2 years ago.
Well, this is a guy that can do it all. Matt Cavanaugh, the offensive coordinator, loves him, his attitude, running the football, whatever they ask him, catching it out of the backfield. He does it all for the Panthers.
Stevens Howling, this time he's wrapped up. Hit an orange and dark blue wall. No gain. Got back to the line of scrimmage. So once again, Dave Wanstead's Panthers facing that 3rd and 3.
Yeah, that's been the bugaboo last week against Iowa, that 3rd and short. And you guys meeting yesterday with defensive coordinator Derek Jackson for Syracuse, he said everybody's got a responsibility in their gaps. And on that 2nd down play, boy, Syracuse did a nice job of covering up for each other and trusting each other. That's a big key for this team right now in orange and blue, trusting each other.
Well, the Syracuse crowd, not many of them, but they're making some noise now. Pitt 1 for 3, 3rd down the pitch. Stevens Howling over the 40, picks up the 1st down. Penalty flag back at the 36, 37-yard line. And a false start's going to bring this one back. How surprised are you, John? We talked with Dave at the Big East Media Day. He knew there were going to be high expectations. They came out, they lost to Bowling Green. And some of the players said, you know, we just weren't focused.
Well, that's going to be one of those plays, Mike, that Coach Wanstead writes down on his pad saying we had the 1st down. We were in a good 3rd down situation, and we jump off sides. And that's one of those things you go back and you have 4 or 5 plays like that a game that hold you back from keeping drives alive.
Saw that graphic, the #1 in the country. Penalties only 2.33 per game. They already have 3. Stahl out of the shotgun, looking downfield, overshoots his man. That's the big tight end, Nate Byam. Another 4th down situation, and Pittsburgh will have to punt.
Every situation that Pittsburgh comes out and doesn't convert on 3rd down, and defense for Syracuse gets a little bit more confident, and the offense, gets a little bit more confident. The crowd gets back into it. So Bill Stahl still needs to calm down. There's plenty of time left in this football game. If you're looking at it as a Panther fan, yes, it's 14-3, but they've done some good things offensively. Now they just have to slow down defensively, let the game slow down for them as well.
So Brightus will be punting at about the 20-yard line. The left-footed kicker. And this one is a fair catch, the first one at the 38-yard kick. And Syracuse football, I'd like to welcome in the head coach of the UConn Huskies, Randy Edsall. They're 5-0 after a dramatic 26-21 come from behind win over Louisville. Randy, thanks for stopping by and congratulations on the big win.
Well, my pleasure, and we're just thrilled to be 5-0 and 1-0 in the Big East.
Randy, you gave up 500 yards of offense to Louisville, but 8 times they were in Husky territory, only 3 touchdowns. What can you tell us about your defense a lot of fans might not understand or know?
Well, I think the name of the game is how many points you let get in the end zone. It doesn't have anything to do with yards that teams get against you. And we just try to get our kids to play one play at a time as hard as they can. And when one play's over, if they make a big play against you, just really focus and settle down and play as hard as you can on that next play. And that's what we did. We needed to make plays in certain situations last evening, and our defense did that, and most especially the pick by Lawrence Wilson to put us ahead, and then the pick at the end of the game to seal the victory for us. So we just try to play as hard as we can and play as smart as we can.
Well, Coach, this is John Congemi. I know you have to be proud of the guys backing up guys that were starting in the football game at tight end, at Lorenzen at quarterback, and Zach Frazier, I thought, did one heck of a job in that second half. He looked like he got more confidence with every snap.
You're right, John. He did a good job. And, we try to tell our kids all the time that, as you're a backup, you're one play away from getting in there. And when you get in there, you want to make the most of your opportunity. And, I thought that we going into the season, we had more depth than what we've had in previous years. And hopefully we don't get any more injuries or no injuries at all. But the kids went in and stepped up for us yesterday with injuries they had, did a fantastic job.
Another big gainer by Brinkley, a gain of 22. And since we're talking about running backs here, how about Donald Brown? 190 yards last night, leads the nation. What does he have that some other running backs might not have, Coach?
Well, he's got great vision. He's doing a much better job this year of really setting his blocks up and seeing what's happening in front of him. But then he's strong. He has a burst. He's durable. He's a guy that gets better as the game goes on. And after the game, I saw the stats and saw what he had at 90 in the first half and then ended up with 190. I didn't believe he had that many yards. But, he's a guy that, I asked him if he's tired, and he says no, and he just keeps going. But the thing that he does, guys, is he does a great job of taking care of his body during the week. I mean, I just left the facility, and he was in the pools there doing that. He'll do that for the next 3 days. He does it after practice, and he's just a real fanatic about, taking care of himself, eating properly, and getting the treatments necessary so he can bounce back each and every week.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Thanks for stopping by, and best of luck against North Carolina.
Thanks, Coach.
Randy Edsall, 5-0, and I'd be surprised if we didn't see the Huskies surface in the top 25 sitting at 5-0.
Well, you have to, and I was going to ask Coach if we had time. It just looks like this team is a lunch pail team or a brown bag team that it doesn't matter what happens to their team. The next guy is going to be ready, and they're going to go to work, and I think that's a credit to Randy and his coaching staff of preparing his team for adversity. If anything happens, it's not going to alter our ultimate goal, and that was very evident last night.
All right, quick question for you right after the snap here, after the play. 3rd down and 1 for Syracuse. They're moving the chains again. Dantley, play action, looking for his tight end, Owen. Owen's pushed, and there's no penalty flag. And the Syracuse fans right in front of the play. And it looked like Chappelle might have given him a little extra shove.
Him or Eric Thatcher. That looked like there was a lot of contact. And credit Dantley. Watch him keep the play alive in the pocket. Great pressure by McKillop, the middle linebacker. But watch the shove with the right arm right there. It looks like there was a little contact that could have very easily been called pass interference. The right hand right there on the back and the left arm. Boy, I don't know. That could have been called pass interference.
Well, the goal was 22 first downs, and right now they're going for another one today with 4. This will be number 5, 4th down situation. Dantley trying to draw Pittsburgh offside, and he pulls back from under center. That's something I don't see a lot of in college football. A lot in the pros, the quarterback trying to draw the defense offside.
Yeah, try and voice inflection on 4th down just to get somebody to jump, and that's a good job of patience by the Panthers and poise by the Panthers defensively of not allowing themselves to be drawn offsides.
Here's Rob Long. He's dropped 5 punts inside the 20 this season.
Lee, I'm not so sure. I like the opportunity there by Greg Robinson. I think if they go for that 1st down the way the momentum was going, I think they may get that 1st down.
They definitely had Big Mo on their side. There's a whistle. The officials, a Big East crew. Randy Smith, the referee. Big East officials will stay with the same team this year.
Correction. Delay penalty will be enforced. 5 yards. 4th down.
Well, the delay penalty pushes it back 5 more yards, but no problem for Rob Long. He comes in averaging about 47.8. That's Aaron Berry, the deep man for Pittsburgh. And Rob Long, remember, John, I said we had some good kickers. Last year he had a long of 73. This year he had a long of 72 against Akron. That's some boomers. Kicking from the 45. Aaron Berry at about his 10. No fair catch. No, he did call for the fair catch. So the Panthers will have the football, but 90 yards of green after the 30-yard punt. Okay, back to the question I wanted to ask you, Mr. Kangemi.
Yes.
Randy Edsall, we ran out of time, but we talked about Donald Brown with 190 yards, leads the nation in rushing. Last year, he and Andre Dixon both had over 800. Great balance. Now, Brown is out of control. What if Dixon comes back, gets healthy? How do you work that?
Well, I think it only helps because Donald Brown, it's a long season, Mike, and it's very punishing in the Big East Conference. They're going to go down to North Carolina and play a punishing team from the ACC, so you're going to need 2 healthy backs, and I think that only adds to the depth and the opportunity they have on offense.
This is McCoy looking for some running room up over the 15, dropped at about the 17-yard line. Dave Wanstead saying the #1 priority in camp this year was that offensive line. It has to gel. Your thoughts on the offensive line throughout the season?
Well, I think the Panthers offensive line has done a good job. They've improved with every game, and I think Coach Wanstead has noticed that, and especially in C.J. Davis. He's probably the guy at left guard, number 55, that has been playing the best along that offensive front. But they've had a lot of changes in positions, but they've played well as a unit.
Little pitch. McCoy trying to turn it outside, and he turns the corner up over the 20, and he's close to the 25-yard line. Had to get to about the 23.5 for the 1st down. gain of 7 on the play, so that'll move the chains. First down for the Pitt Panthers. Wanstead also said, hey, when I was a junior, he told us on the phone, the leading rusher for Pittsburgh had 493 yards. His senior year, they had a back by the name of Tony Dorsett, and he didn't block any better, but Dorsett had like 1,600, so I guess a lot goes with the running back.
There's an example of something like that. The play wasn't really designed real well or blocked real well, but McCoy had enough speed to get to the edge.
McCoy 5 carries for 28 yards so far, still looking for that first 100-yard game. Stahl lofts it up there, looking deep. And once again, it's number 2, Doran Dickerson, the intended receiver, the junior out of Imperial, Pennsylvania. Boy, Dickerson, last year, was a linebacker. He returned kicks. He was the AAA Player of the Year in Pennsylvania. Receiver, running back, quarterback, defensive back, kick returner. Wow, this guy's versatile.
I wouldn't be surprised if they come back to that matchup, because you had Doran Dickerson and all that speed at the tight end spot against a linebacker and Mike Mealy. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers somewhere along this game try to get that matchup again with Dickerson on a linebacker.
Dickerson, you saw the graphic there where his dad played hoops at Kansas State. No fewer than 15 players with relatives that have played in the NFL. Stahl looking for Kinder. He's got it over the 30 up at about the 33-yard line. Wrestled out by Nico Scott. And Derek Kinder picks up 8 more.
And this is a guy in Derek Kinder who sat out all last year with an ACL, a knee injury, and he's just getting back into form, just close enough to 100%. It's been tough for Derek to get in and out of routes, but on that particular comeback, good timing from Bill Stahl, the quarterback, and Kinder had a big cushion on the outside.
Well, it was interesting last year, Kinder sitting out. He said he thought if he was in there, he could have made a couple of plays, maybe a couple of scores, maybe a couple more wins, and become bowl eligible.
There's another third down situation, Mike.
Cedric McGee in motion this time. The handoff. McCoy pounds his way up to the 40-yard line. Another first down. So Pittsburgh has settled down offensively. Mike Mealy making the tackle after the 6-yard gain, and that's going to be the final play in the first quarter here, the Big East opener in 2008. So we're going to take a timeout while they move around on the field, change positions. Syracuse sitting on top of Pittsburgh in the Big East opener, 14-3. Second quarter coming up.
This is Kirk Herbstreit. You know you're a true Outback fan when you think great coverage is crispy bacon wrapped around a filet on our mixed grill with sweet shrimp and sautéed scallops. To you, cutting up the middle means slicing into our Outback Special sirloin. 17 spices, big, bold flavors seared in. Great picks, starting at $9.99 for a limited time. Go, go, go. Crave on.
Customize your Puerto Rico vacation. Special offers from August 1st through November 30th. Book now on gotopuertorico.com. Puerto Rico. Explore beyond the shore.
You're up.
Nah, you go ahead.
All right.
Impressive. Where'd you learn that? Some fancy golf school? Hey, how'd you learn to do that? What are you, taking lessons? Come on, what's your secret? You got your own pro?
Yep, got a bunch of them.
The key to better golf is the best instruction, and Golf Digest is the only place you can learn from the game's hottest pros. Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods. Call today, and for just $14.97, you'll get 12 issues of Golf Digest with easy-to-follow techniques, equipment reviews, pocket tips, and much more. Subscribe now, and you'll get this DVD free. Renowned instructor Jim McLean demonstrates practice plans that will help improve your game.
What do you mean you got a bunch of them?
Here, order your own.
Call now to order Golf Digest, 800-543-6200. That's 800-543-6200.
Wake up, first thing.
Turn on News 12.
For me, it's the website.
I'm an on-demand kind of guy.
Local news, traffic, weather, then I'm out the door. It's all at my fingertips.
News 12 to go? I can't live without it.
News12.com. I log on every day. Love it.
I'm constantly connected, 24/7.
It's everything I want. I wish I could find a guy like that. News 12 Long Island. Only on Cablevision, not on phone company TV or anywhere else.
thinking about restoring that dream car you've always desired? Paul's Rods and Restos can make it a reality. From street rods to muscle cars, customs, and classics, Paul's does it all. Award-winning local and national show winners, recognized in nationally published magazines. We can transport your precious vehicle with our enclosed trailer and flatbed service. Come to our facility and see why Paul's Rods and Restos should be your choice for all your auto restoration needs.
Get your New York sports here.
There's Dante Davis, scored his first collegiate touchdown as a receiver, making it 14-3. Syracuse with the lead. And there's Mike Holmes, who returned a 90-yard kickoff return for Syracuse, and that's where we stand, 14-3. But Pittsburgh's starting to settle down now. McCoy gets the handoff over the 40-yard line. Gain of 4 that time. And let's go back and revisit. It's 3-0 when Mike Holmes took the kickoff and found some room on the far sideline.
Yeah, and had the crowd get into it. Gave him a reason to get excited with a 90-yard kickoff return. No one really touched Mike Holmes going down the sideline, and a nice wheel route on the outside. Good pass from Cameron Dantley to Dante Davis, covering 27 yards, pushing the score to 14-3 Orange.
His first touchdown in college, as I mentioned. Remember, keep in mind that Mike Williams and Taj Smith, their top 2 receivers, no longer with this football team. 2nd and 6 for the Panthers. Stahl State drop back. Flush from the pocket, looks for his fullback Collins, and he dropped the ball. Tough catch, though. Ball thrown behind him. Stahl now 6 of 13 for 49 yards.
Stahl did a nice job of keeping this play alive. The Orange brings some pressure from the secondary. Bruce Williams coming from the edge, and Stahl trying to make a play to the outside and could not convert to Conrad Collins. Conrad Collins could be a big player as this game goes on in third down situations, trying to get him the football out in the flat. Very, very good blocker for LaShawn McCoy.
Panthers 2 for 5 this afternoon. Third down. It's 3rd and 6. Looking downfield, Kinder has it inside the 40-yard line of Syracuse. So Kinder starting to come into his own now. Gain of 18 that time for Derek Kinder.
Terrific job by Bill Stahl, Mike, stepping up into the pocket and giving Derek Kinder time to come in on that in route. Stahl sits in the pocket, see him step up and throw a strike right over the middle and let Derek Kinder come in on that inside route. Good job by the offensive line of letting the pressure come outside. Bill Stahl steps up inside, 50% on the day for 67 yards.
Kinder came in with 11 catches. He's 5 for 58 already this afternoon. McCoy trying to turn the corner again. Mike Neely's been active, pushes him out of bounds, just shy of the 25-yard line. Well, I'll tell you, when he takes off, he holds that loaf of bread very loosely, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and the coaching staff has been trying to do some work on that, and I know running backs coach David Walker has been trying to have him tuck it away. He was a former running back at Syracuse, but you can see that thing outside, but at least he had it on the outside arm away from the nearest defender, doing a good job of keeping it to the outside, and a good block by Conrad Collins on the edge.
But he picked up the first down, 1st and 10, inside the 30-yard line now. McCoy 8 carries, 48 yards. McCoy stutter steps, and he's dropped. Good job by Mike Holmes coming up from the secondary to make the stop. Let's go downstairs now with Quinn Kessler.
Guys, David Walker, the running backs coach, the points of emphasis for ball security for LaShawn McCoy are the tips of the ball. The front tip is obvious. The back tip of the ball, though, is the key. He wants the back tip of the ball on the bicep of LaShawn McCoy. He wants the ball held high and tight, kind of like Tiki Barber in the New York Giants. The front tip's easy. The back tip on the bicep, ball high and tight.
Thanks, Quint. All-American lacrosse player. Looked like a football player, didn't he? Looked like
he could have carried the football, absolutely.
That's great advice, though. You fumbled the ball. David Walker, you talked about he being an all-East player. Pops up the football after the hit, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass. A.J. Brown laying the wood on T.J. Porter.
A.J. Brown coming out, doing a nice job from the secondary. Stahl sees the blitz and the uncovered linebacker coming in, and a big hit by number 17 in a blue jersey just jars the ball loose. Stahl did a nice job of finding the open receiver, but a big-time hit from the Syracuse secondary.
Panthers 50% down, third down, 3 for 6. There's A.J. Brown. Out of the gun. This one down on the turf. Once again, feeling the pressure. Mealy in there, along with big number 97, Arthur Jones. Putting on the heat.
Well, Syracuse on second down brought some pressure. This time on third down, they bring pressure and force Bill Stahl to throw the football a little bit earlier than he would have liked. That one was almost a throwaway, Mike, just to get away from the sack.
Well, Leon attempt a 43-yard field goal. He has one this afternoon, good from 40. The senior from Upper St. Clair, Pennsylvania. Well, he's accurate right down the middle again. 3 more points for Connor Lee, the senior whose brother Sean is a linebacker at Penn State. We'll talk more about that deeper in the broadcast, but right now it's 14-6, Syracuse on top.
The Buick, Pontiac, and GMC employee discount on every 2008. And now, many 2009s. You pay what we pay, but only until September 30th.
Now get a Pontiac G6 with better combined fuel efficiency than Honda Accord. Starting at just $16,720. Hurry, these are the final days of the GM Employee Discount for Everyone event. See your dealer by September 30th.
Goes through your mind after an accident. But with Liberty Mutual, insurance issues won't.
Man.
Because we offer unlimited rental coverage, new car replacement, and accident forgiveness to help ease your mind. And that's our policy. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
And pour in the new with Valvoline Conventional or Max Life Motor Oil. Buy one, get one free after mail-in rebate. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
The devil is building his army. Max Payne is looking for something that God wants hidden. That makes him dangerous.
When the people a man needs get taken away from him, you can't ever go back to who you were before.
Rated PG-13. October 17th only in theaters.
Hey, Mike! How's it going?
What's that?
My new toys. And the sweet protection plan I bought for them.
It's all clear. There's an easier way to protect your stuff. Call Geico. They can help insure all your vehicles.
Geico Power Sports. Insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
Call Geico.
And we're back inside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. That's Connor Lee. Pittsburgh still looking for the first touchdown, but Lee with a couple of field goals. 40 and 43 yards out. Coming in, he was 33 for 40, 82.5%. The senior for the Pitt Panthers. 13 plays, 61 drives, using up 4 minutes and 44 seconds, culminating with that 43-yard kick. Luke Briggs, walk-on from Midland, Michigan, ready to kick off for the Panthers again. There's Mike Holmes, already with a 90-yard kickoff return. He's the deep man along with Max Suter. 12 minutes and 10 seconds to go before halftime here at Syracuse, the Big East opener. And this one's going to Holmes again. He takes it at his 5-yard line. This time he is hit, and he is hit by a host of tacklers. But Tristan Roberts, a freshman, making the initial contact, a return of 15. Let's take a look now at the Big East standings, brought to you by Tradewinds Beach Resort. Of course, we talked with Randy Edsall already by phone in the first quarter. His UConn Huskies sitting at 5-0. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive for Randy Edsall and the UConn Huskies. But South Florida, I believe, is the team to beat right now in the Big East Conference. They've done a nice job of getting out undefeated. They've won some tough games down the stretch. So I think South Florida is the team to beat.
George Selby finally getting after it after being double and triple teamed, but tweaked an ankle. So it's going to be interesting to see how healthy he is today. But UConn, again, we go back to the top 25 on Monday, that 5-0. Be interesting to see if they surface. There's Greg Williams, a freshman. Redshirt freshman from Naples, Florida. You talk about some of these recruiting classes that Dave Wanstead's had in his first 3 years. A lot of those Floridians coming up to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, really, you look around the country, and you look at Texas, you look at California, you look at Florida, and those are the 3 states that really bring a lot of athletes. Yes, they have a big population, a lot of high school football, but the better athletes are coming from those 3 states.
That was Doug Hogue, the sophomore who carried the football out of Yonkers, New York. He's in the backfield now instead of Brinkley. Dantley wants to throw it, and he does, and he has his man. That's Marcus Sales, a freshman, and they will call that complete up over the 25-yard line. Aaron Berry on the coverage for Pittsburgh, a gain of 6 on the play.
Mike, this is an example of Cameron Dantley showing off his arm to the short side. He just steps up and delivers a rocket to the outside. And that's a great catch on the outside. Great concentration by Salas going up and getting this football. Great hand catch on the outside and really gets him into a nice third and short situation.
Sales, the number 2 recruit out of New York last year. Robinson also pulled in the number 1. Avery Collier, a running back out of Rochester. Here's the pitch. It's Hogue trying to turn the corner. Good pursuit that time, and he's wrapped up by a host of Panthers. Dom DeSico making the initial contact there for Pittsburgh. Coming up from his safety spot. That'll force a kicking situation for Syracuse. Gain of 2 on the play.
Yeah, and a nice play by Greg Romeo staying at home on the outside. It looked like there was going to be a lot of room for Doug Hogue to the wide side of the field, and the Panthers defensively come up with a much-needed 3-and-out for Dave Wanstead to get that football back to Bill Stahl so they can try and establish some more momentum.
Aaron Berry, the deep man, standing just over the 25-yard line, closer to the 30. Rob Long kicking from the 15. Good kick, sending Berry back to the 15-yard line of Pittsburgh. And he trips over the 20. And dropped to the 21-yard line. A 58-yard punt, a return of 7. So Long has 7 punts of at least 50 yards this year. 14-6 Syracuse.
Introducing the fastest accelerating, most agile side-by-side in the world. The Red Hot Ranger Razor. The wait is over. Razor sharp performance. See it up close at your local Polaris Ranger dealer. Now get as low as 2.99% financing during the Power Play sales event.
Going to the game this weekend, Jim?
Well, Jerry, for more on that, let's throw it over to the Hampton Hotel where my wife Tracy is checked in. Trace, what's the mood over there?
In a word, Jim, electric. Comfy beds, complimentary hot breakfast, and friendly service.
Trace, what's that noise I hear?
Wow, I wish you listened this well at home, Jim.
She's kidding.
I'm not. It's college football, honey.
Well, there you have it, folks. And Trace, I'll see you in a few hours. Back to you, Jerry.
Thank you.
How was school? Great. A guy split his pants.
Hit the books.
Good luck on your paper. She's announcing her candidacy for class president today.
Not in that she's not.
And show your team spirit. It's back to school with the Camdens. Catch 7th Heaven, weekday afternoons at 1 on Hallmark Channel.
7th Heaven on Hallmark Channel is brought to you in part by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture.
I've searched the deep ocean to study historic shipwrecks. Through this work, I hope to inspire young people to care about our planet. So when they dream of exploring new places, they'll also think about protecting them. I'm Dr. Robert Ballard, and I'm helping Nat Geo preserve our planet.
National Geographic's Preserve Our Planet public service announcement is sponsored locally by National Grid, the power of action.
Syracuse, New York. If you've never been to the Carrier Dome, a good exterior view of what it's like in Syracuse on a cloudy Saturday afternoon. There's the Dome, the home of the Orange football and Jim Boeheim's basketball team, of course. Mike Gleason along with John Congemi, Quint Kesnick. It's the Big East opener on the Big East game of the week. And right now, Syracuse sitting on top 14-6 in time of possession, John.
Yeah, Pitt's done a nice job of controlling the football. They haven't put points on the scoreboard.
Stahl, first down, wants to come up firing, and he finds his man, and he is popped. That was Cedric McGee, probably the most consistent receiver so far this year, up over the 30-yard line. Gain of 12, but boy, these Syracuse kids are really popping today. Mike Holmes, who had the 90-yard kickoff return, comes up and lays the wood.
Well, you called it, Mike. Mike Holmes comes up and really tries to deliver a knockout punch to McGee, but McGee keeps on going downfield and moves the chains for the Panthers. And this is what the Pitt Panthers have been doing. They've been moving down the football field with positive plays from Bill Stahl and runs from LaShawn McCoy, but they have not been able to get into the end zone.
Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. Stahl wants to put it up again. There's going to be a face mask, and Stahl just throws it away. Merkerson had it before he went out of bounds. Now, if they call it the INT, but it's going to come back, I think, because of the face mask. Now, keep in mind, there is no such thing as an inadvertent face mask this year, the 5-yard penalty, so you've got to bend and twist the neck, and so this is going to be a 15-yarder.
I don't think there was any doubt about that face mask.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask on the defense. The 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's just an opportunity for the Orange trying to make a big play on the quarterback. You don't really go after the face mask on purpose, but Nick Santiago got a whole lot of face mask, and then Stahl just trying to make a play, doesn't get enough on it to throw it out of bounds. Ends up being an interception, but that'll all come back, and the penalty will move the Panthers closer to the 50-yard line.
See big number 95, and I say big 95, but he's 40 pounds lighter than last year. We talked about the offensive line for Mitch Browning losing weight on the offensive side of the ball, but Santiago thought he was getting too slow. Well, anyone that can lose 40 pounds, I have a lot of admiration.
Absolutely.
I have a tough time losing 5 or 6. Ball just shy of the 50-yard line. Play action this time. They fake it. Stahl looking and finding his man on the far sidelines, and again, it's Derek Kinder. Kinder having a big day here for Pittsburgh. Well, Greg Robinson, his 4th year, 8-31 since taking over. But boy, what a resume in the NFL, huh?
Well, he done a great job for the Denver Broncos as their defensive coordinator. But as you can see here at the helm of Syracuse, only 8 wins, and this is his 4th season. There's been a lot of heat from the fans, from the alumni, from everybody in management here in the academic side. Dr. Darrell Gross, they were talking before the game. He has to show measured improvement in this year, and so far today they've done that.
Here's the pitch, trying to move it outside. Rod Howlings can't quite turn the corner up over the 35-yard line. Getting back to Greg Robinson, though, of course, Joe Gross, the athletic director here at Syracuse, earlier this week, he said, he was quoted as saying, it isn't working out. It's very disappointing. Greg Robinson has some work to do in front of him. And the overall record of 8-31, it seems like Gross has backed off a little bit since then. And they are good friends, and they do converse a lot, I'm told, during the week.
Well, it's hard not to like a Greg Robinson. He's doing whatever he can to get this team back on track. And for this team, it's a new season starting today. It's a Big East Conference first game.
Stevens Howling spins, bounces to the outside, inside the 20 before he's pushed out of bounds by number 17, A.J. Brown. And, of course, we go back to before the game about 11:30 this morning. 11:23, okay, to be exact. There's Robinson and Gross discussing the afternoon.
Well, in Darrell Gross, I've met him on a few occasions and talked with him. Good man, trying to give encouragement to his head coach before the game. And Greg Robinson really took off with that. You get a 90-yard kickoff return, the defense playing well, keeping Pittsburgh out of the end zone. So right now, it's another opportunity for that defense that's coached by Greg Robinson to keep the Panthers out of the end zone.
Pittsburgh in the red zone, perfect this year, 9 for 9. Stevens Howling trying to stutter step and bounce to the outside. And he slips and falls, so bring up a 2nd down. For more on Greg Robinson, let's go down with Quinn.
Mike, one thing you notice about Coach Robinson, he has kept his team and his staff insulated from all the controversy. Darryl Gross's comments this week. It's amazing when you talk to these student athletes, you'd never guess their lack of success, and you'd never guess what was going on between the athletic director and the head coach. He's really kept his team away from those problems.
That's a good point, Quint. One more thought right after the snap. Second down, another pitch to Stevens Howland. Cuts it inside the 20-yard line, hit by a host of Syracuse players. One thing I noticed, Quint and John, about Coach Robinson is how he handled that. I thought he handled it very classy. He said, you know, Gross has tried to hang in there. He gets a lot of crap. I understand it. I understand his frustrations. I understand the fans' frustrations. Gross lives in a political world. My world is not that way. He says, I don't lose much sleep over it. I lose more sleep on LaShawn McCoy wiggling past one of my defenders than I do over all the heat he's got.
Well, right now, Syracuse better be worried about keeping Pittsburgh out of the end zone. They're 9 for 9 once they cross the 20-yard line and getting 7 touchdowns of those 9 opportunities.
Stevens Howland in the backfield, swings it out in the flat, inside the 20, 15, 10, 5, and he's horse collar down inside the 5-yard line. 13 yards on the play. Great job of swinging it out of the backfield.
That's great touch by Bill Stahl, and an even better job by the Rod Stevens Howling. We talked to the offensive coordinator, Matt Cavanaugh. This guy can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield. He can make you miss, and he shows you his speed on the outside, the experience. And I'm not sure that should have been 15 yards or another tack on by going up high on the helmet. That horse collar rule. You got him around the helmet.
That is a rule. It's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go there because you're trying to run somebody down.
Yeah, that was a good job by Howling of holding on to the football and then accelerating to the outside.
This time it's McCoy. Tries to cut back inside. He's dropped at about the 2-yard line. We saw a couple of big third down plays. 3rd and 6 for Syracuse went for a touchdown, a 27-yarder. Now 3rd and 10 goes for 18 for Pittsburgh as their threat now.
Well, I mentioned briefly about the red zone success that the Panthers have had on the season. They're tied for first in the Big East Conference, 9 for 9, 100%. 7 of those opportunities, or 7 of those went for touchdowns. So they've done a nice job, and Matt Cavanaugh's done a nice job of really sticking to their bread and butter, and that's running the football inside the 20.
Collins backed up by LaShawn McCoy. It's McCoy trying to bounce it to the outside, and he wrapped up by several tacklers. There's Bruce Williams in there along with number 97 Arthur Jones, Mike Mealy. No gain on the play, so it's a 3rd.
On back-to-back plays, that Syracuse defensive line has done a very nice job of winning that battle at the line of scrimmage. And now Arthur Jones and Kimmel and Santiago and Garuzzi all trying to fire up this crowd inside of the Carrier Dome. This could be a huge stop for Syracuse if they can hold Pittsburgh to a field goal opportunity.
Keep in mind, they lost 3 offensive linemen from last year's team. 10th play of the drive started back at the 21-yard line. Stahl has his man. Touchdown. It's Dickerson. Doran Dickerson, the 6'2", 230-pound junior who played as a starter at linebacker last year.
Well, there's that matchup, a nice matchup on the inside the 5-yard line. Anybody that's going to go up against Doran Dickerson, Dickerson's going to be bigger and maybe just a step faster. This time he has a defensive back in Mike Holmes, but credit Bill Stahl being accurate. That looks like an easy throw, but you have to be very accurate with the football, and quick release adds to 6 points.
Here's Connor Lee after the 10-play 79-yard march, and he is perfect. 84 for 84 in his college career, which is outstanding. So the Pitt Panthers scored their first touchdown as Doran Dickerson, who played quarterback, defensive back, kick returner, had 36 touchdowns in high school. Greg Robinson sees his scores his first in 2008.
Any wallet can hold your money, but only one can actually manage it. Help you save it. Remind you when you're getting low on it. Even easily move it from one place to another. Best of all, this is one wallet you'll never lose. Introducing the Virtual Wallet from PNC, a high-definition online view of your money. PNC, leading the way.
The Buick, Pontiac, and GMC employee discount on every 2008. And now, many 2009s. You pay what we pay, but only until September 30th.
Now get a Pontiac G6 with better combined fuel efficiency than Honda Accord. Starting at just $16,720. Hurry, these are the final days of the GM Employee Discount for Everyone event. See your dealer by September 30th.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Dominican Merengue Night. After a victory against the Cardinals, the Mets and players stayed around for the final merengue concert at Shea.
Hispanic Heritage, presented by Miller Lite. Visit sny.tv/Hispanic Heritage.
The Suzuki SX4 Sport has a unique pop-up Navi system, a roomy cabin, 30 miles per gallon highway, and more horsepower than the Honda Civic LX, all for under $16,000. So we can pretty much assure you'll have a great time in it. But once you're out of it, you're on your own. The Suzuki SX4. Live large, drive small. Suzuki.
Deep man Holmes again, along with Max Suter, chomping at the bit to touch the football. He returned a kickoff against Louisville last year, 93 yards, and this one's heading for Holmes again. At the 18-yard line, Holmes over the 30, and he's dropped at about the 33-34, a return of 14 yards that time. So Mike Holmes having a very productive afternoon in the return department. There's Cam Dantley, the senior who has junior eligibility. Does he come back next year?
Absolutely.
Today's First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. First and 10, 14-13, 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Cam Dantley, his 5th collegiate start. This is Brinkley with the carry up over the 35-yard line. Well, Brinkley's saying it's now or never, John. Earlier in the broadcast, we talked about the fact that he predicted he'd have a breakout year because his dream, he said if he didn't think he could still play in the NFL, he wouldn't be doing this still.
Well, you know, you have to have that mentality. And just like Cameron Dantley came into this season, he worked so hard in the summertime of getting his job at quarterback done. Curtis Brinkley does the same thing. Comes back from injury, and he's been very positive. Eight rushes for 52 yards on the afternoon.
He had some big numbers in the Philadelphia area. One time rushing for 399. Play action. This time the whistles will call this one dead.
False start. Number 7 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
So that goes against Dante Davis, the sophomore from Chantilly, Virginia. Well, you talk about some of those defenses the Broncos had. That one team that I think it was the year they beat the Packers in the Super Bowl, and they were giving up 80 rushing yards a game.
Yeah, pretty good stuff as a defensive coordinator going back-to-back with those Super Bowls for the Broncos.
And of course he was the defensive coordinator for Texas in that great Rose Bowl where Texas beat Michigan on the last play of the game. The year before, Texas actually beat USC for the national championship. Dantley from the gun. Barry and Marcus Sales got tangled up. To me, it looked like incidental contact, but definitely impeded Marcus Sales' progress. If I'm an official, it's the right call, but if I'm an official, this is a tough one for me to call.
17 on the defense. First down by the foul.
We're going to get to take a look at this from a high end zone shot. You can see Barry pleading his case to the official on the sidelines. It's going to be on the left side. take a peek if we can see the tangle right there. Looked like he hooked him with the right arm. That's definitely pass interference. He was impeding their wide receiver, Marcus Sales, of going down the field. So I don't think there's a lobby that's going to agree with Barry on that one.
So in other words, Syracuse fans are calling him an idiot as Brinkley hurdles the would-be tackler, Giovanni Chappelle, who loves the physical aspect of the game, came in low, and Brinkley went high.
I don't know if you get any points for that leap, but that sure looked pretty good coming right at us. Chappelle tried to go underneath and get the legs, but nice athleticism by Curtis Brinkley. I would say he's 100% healthy. If you can do that, you're pretty healthy.
So he looked like Billy Sims, but a lot of people would say,
who's that?
Who's that?
Yeah, well, we know.
Barry Sanders.
Very good.
Syracuse with 5 first downs. This is Brinkley again, weaving his way through traffic. Little stutter step, jukes his way, still on his feet, 30. He's at the 20, and he's still on his feet, 15, 10. Run out of bounds by McKillop. How's that for some balance?
I think you're going to see that later on tonight in some highlights. What a move by Curtis Brinkley in the middle of the field. He just kept going and going. He deserves a rest after that one. Just a terrific job of going right side. Watch the move he puts on Eric Thatcher right there. Almost breaks his ankle about the 30-yard line, and then continues to break tackles until McKillop can push him out of bounds close to the 12-yard line.
A gain of 44 for Brinkley on the play. Hogan at running back, play action. Dantley feels some pressure, comes back the other way, looking for Owen. Owen covered by Austin Ransom. Ball's incomplete, second down.
Terrific job by Sheard, the defensive end, on the short side of the field. Cameron Dantley trying to work some play action and hide that football, but a good job of patience and staying at home by Sheard allowed Dantley just to throw the football away.
Sheard, another one of those Floridians coming from Broward County. Romeus, the other defensive end you talked about earlier, Broward County.
Yeah, a lot of athletes in Broward County, Dade, and West Palm Beach.
This is Hogue. He's wrapped up immediately. Forward progress might get him back to the line of scrimmage. So number 86, Austin Ransom, Sheard on the play once again. So Jabal Sheard, we talked about being an all-county, Broward County. So we got to be all-state or all-conference, but if you're from all Broward County, you're pretty good. Look at some of the names on there, including you, John.
Well, H.B. Blades, a former Pitt, Michael Irvin, Danny Canal. I mean, there's tons of guys from that area. Isaac Bruce still playing, Audrey Denson. And there's 3 guys, young players from St. Thomas Aquinas on the Syracuse sidelines right now. 2 defensive backs and a running back. So they've done a nice job of recruiting down there.
It's amazing. You could take about 50 more names and put on that list from Broward County, including Brian Piccolo out of the gun. Hogue gets it inside the 10. Giovanni Chappelle comes up to make the initial contact, but I don't think Dantley fooled anybody. He kind of telegraphed that pass right from the outset.
Well, I think Syracuse was very conservative on 2nd and 3rd down there, just trying to ensure some points as they're counting down under 30 seconds now before halftime. They want to give one of their best players on their team, Patrick Shadle, an opportunity to go ahead and kick a field goal and get some more points on the board going to halftime and continue that momentum into halftime.
Well, Shadle is 6 for 7 on the year. Dantley still waiting for a call, waiting for it to go down. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and they stop the clock with 3 seconds to go. And here comes Patrick Shadle. 7 for 6 this year, is long of 46, long of 51 last year against Northwestern. He's only missed this year is a 51-yard attempt against Northwestern, in the opening weekend. Well, coming up at halftime, in Jemmy's corner, he goes one-on-one with Cameron Dantley, the starting quarterback for Syracuse and the son of Adrian Dantley. Quint, out and about town, man of the town with Otto, the Syracuse mascot. And, of course, we'll have some Big East news and notes. All coming up at halftime here in the Big East opener.
This is a huge kick for Syracuse going into halftime. 3 seconds left. Coach Robinson will sprint into that locker room if they can get this kick with this momentum, and I know his kids will feed off of that.
This one will be from 25. And the senior from Morgantown, West Virginia, drills it through. He has his first field goal of the afternoon. his 7th this year, and that's going to do it for the first 30 minutes of football. John Congemi, your thoughts?
I've been impressed with Syracuse. They've come out and done a nice job on taking advantage of their opportunities. And on the other side, Pitt has played well. They've really controlled the time of possession, and they've gotten themselves back into this football game.
So Dave Wanstead heading for the locker room. Syracuse fans, a reason to stand. They lead this one 17-13. When we come back, Congemi's corner. Adrian Dantley, son, Cam, with John Congemi.
Home. To gifted undergraduates. To scholars awarded the highest honors. Home to talented and fearless athletes. To students who reach out to their communities. The University of Pittsburgh, leader in education, pioneer in research, partner in regional development.
This Thanksgiving, grab the family and head to Disney's Wide World of Sports Complex in Florida for the Old Spice Classics best lineup ever. Be there November 27th through the 30th as Georgetown, Gonzaga, Maryland, Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Siena, Tennessee, and Wichita State battle it out for basketball supremacy. Travel packs are on sale now. For tickets, call 407-839-3900 or log on to oldspiceclassic.com. Get your tickets now.
People say I need my head examined to be riding to work, but I like the sense of freedom, just like with my docs. I got the top heart guy on the west side, this amazing nutritionist on the east, and last year when I threw up my back, I found the best guy right on my block in Brooklyn. In fact, I can choose from the best docs anywhere in the city. Whoa! You want to get your eyes checked, man.
Somebody who's taught me a lot in my life is obviously my parents. Grew up in a pretty strict household, so learned to live by the rules and gave me the foundation that I have now.
The latest fall fashions have now arrived at K&G. And during our wardrobe event, you'll find great low prices on all the styles you need to create a new look. Or two. K&G Fashion Superstore.
Time here on the SNY Big East Game of the Week, presented by Emblem Health. Chris Cotter along with Don McPherson, Ray Lucas. 17-13 the score. Syracuse on top of Pittsburgh, guys, and it's a game that special teams played a big role. You know, and Ray, really, that was the big thing because both defenses really, I think, played a pretty good first half of football.
Absolutely, and Michael Holmes, I'll tell you what, you want to bring the game back into focus after a nice long drive by Pittsburgh. Here is your answer. Michael Holmes takes the ball, and he's going to hit his head right on the goalpost, 90 yards. Great speed. The kicker right here, just embarrassing. That's why I don't like kickers, Don. That is just ridiculous. But Holmes brings the Orange men back. What a great run right here.
Don, what do you think about, first of all, comment on this run, and then I want to get your thoughts on the quarterback situation.
Yeah, of course, this is a big play for Syracuse to come out and get some confidence in the game. But I think the big difference for Syracuse in the first half was how well Cameron Dantley managed the game at quarterback. And we all know that he has a very strong arm, and he can throw the ball on a laser, exactly. Ooh. But this is a nice touch pass, and when you see it from the back angle, you'll see him throw this ball on time before the receiver breaks to the corner. That's the kind of play that he needs to continue to have and to show that he's maturing as a quarterback, throwing the ball on time.
4 of 7 for 43 yards and that touchdown in the first half. And he also hung in the pocket there nicely as well in the rush. Pretty good balance, though, I think, for Syracuse, and we'll get into that in a second. Here is Bill Stull, only 11 for 20 in the first half, had 108 yards and did have a touchdown late there in that second quarter. But it seems like Pitt is a little bit out of sync offensively, whether it's Stull throwing the ball. McCoy had 53 yards on 11 carries, but it just seems like they haven't really been able to get him on track.
I agree. We said it from the beginning. Bill Stull was going to either win or lose this game. He is on track with some. He had a lot of drops in the first half, but at the same time, he's a little high. He's a little short. He doesn't look comfortable back there, and if Pitt wants to get back in this game, I think it's going to be on the arm of Mr. Stowe.
There's no question about it. He's been very, very off target.
Curtis Brinkley had a nice first half as well. Broke off that long run there on that last drive, a total of 97 yards. And, you know, to me, it seems like confidence is playing a big role in this first half. Syracuse, they got that kickoff return. It kind of got them right back into the game, got them into the flow, and they play with a lot more confidence.
Yeah, and Greg Robinson has said that this is a team that is coming. They're coming, and when they do hit it, he said they're going to hit it big. The problem is, you know, have they really hit it big, or are they still coming along slowly? I think right now the players are starting to believe in some of the things that Greg Robinson.
I'll tell you what, Curtis Brinkley on that one long run we were watching it, he broke somebody's ankles, and I mean, on the video on Sunday, somebody's going to get ribbed in that room. I mean, he just and he fell right on his keister right there. Curtis Brinkley, I think, I'll tell you what, that is the tail of the tape right now. He's taking the pressure off the quarterback, which, when you have a good running game, your passing game's always going to come along eventually. Yeah,
there's no question about it. And Syracuse has always tried to, you know, historically with the great running backs at Syracuse University, you have to have that run game. But Ray's exactly right. When that happens, when they establish the run game a little bit more, it's going to take pressure off of Cameron Dantley, and it's going to open up the pass game for him.
All right, 17-13 at the half. The Q's on top of Pitt. Don't forget, this is the first of just many Big East games of the week we're going to have for you right here on SNY. We've got pregame, we've got halftime, we've got postgame as well. And when we come back, we'll talk about game 2. Rutgers against Morgan State. We'll go out to Piscataway where Chris Carlin has the latest. Plus, there was some Big East action last night in Louisville. UConn looking to remain undefeated. Highlights coming up.
My company was testing new armor plating for the military.
We were designing this new multimedia center. My company was launching a new energy drink.
The stuff had to stop a 50 caliber bullet.
Then the sound engineer changes all the specs at midnight. We tested in Denver, LA.
We worked every weekend.
The clock was ticking.
There was no room for error.
The initial sales were through the roof.
We really made a difference.
We pulled it off.
So with Fios, I get more HD than cable, the fastest internet, HBO and Cinemax free for 30 days, and a DVR free for a year.
Yes, 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 and yes.
Nice. What about you?
We've got stuff also that's good.
Cable just can't compare to Fios. When Verizon brings fiber optics straight to your home, you get razor-sharp TV picture, the fastest internet, and crystal-clear phone service. All for just $94.99 a month with a 1-year agreement. Call 1-888-818-FIOS now and get a multi-room DVR that you can't get with cable free for a year. Plus HBO and Cinemax free for 30 days. With Fios, you get the best HD experience, best HD sports, plus over 11,000 titles on demand per month. And Fios Internet gives you ridiculously fast speeds. Get the only TV, internet, and phone package that comes with a multi-room DVR free for a year, plus HBO and Cinemax free for 30 days. This offer will be gone before you know it. Call 1-888-818-FIOS today. This is Fios. This is big.
Believe. Believe in yourself.
Trust your instincts.
Believe in work ethic.
Think.
Believe in loyalty.
And compassion.
Believe in integrity.
Embrace diversity.
Believe in discipline.
Fear no challenge.
Believe in dreams.
Be passionate. Persevere.
Believe in collaboration. Believe you can make a difference.
Game 1 of our doubleheader here on SNY. Later on this afternoon, Game 2, Morgan State at Rutgers. Rutgers looking for their first win of the year. Should come this afternoon, otherwise we got problems. Cincinnati at Akron, Marshall at West Virginia as well. West Virginia should get healthy today also, and then the big one tonight, South Florida at NC State. NC State coming off a major upset last weekend against East Carolina. Well, the guys with the radio call are going to be Chris Carlin and Tim Pernetti. And we thought we would check in with one Chris Carlin from Piscataway for a little bit more on this afternoon's Rutgers game.
Thanks, Chris. And as we know, Rutgers looking for their first win of 2008 this afternoon after falling on the road to Navy last week. And senior quarterback Mike Teal just looking to get some confidence back and get a little momentum going in the pass game. 6 interceptions through the first 3 games. But I'll tell you what, he could get a lot of help today from the running game. Last week, redshirt freshman Jordan Brooks, in his first career start, 134 yards on just 22 carries and 2 touchdowns. That is the second best performance in a first career start in Rutgers history. The top performance, Terrell Willis, Mr. Lucas's old teammate, back in 1994, 221 yards against Army. Now, I know you hear Morgan State, you think 1AA, but this is not your typical 1AA team. On the two deep alone, 15 Division I transfers. All these guys play. All these guys make an impact. And in particular, they do it on defense. Through 3 games so far, the Bears have forced 13 turnovers and have 9 interceptions. The weather, not expected to be as much of a factor as we thought earlier in the week. Temperatures in the upper 60s around kickoff, and just overcast skies expected as the rain should hold off. Fellas, back to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it does look like actually good football weather. You don't have to deal with a muddy track there at Rutgers anyway, so very enjoyable for the guys, I think, this afternoon.
That's why we domed it in Syracuse. We don't want to deal with this.
Right, you couldn't deal with it.
Snow every other day in Syracuse.
Talk about Mike Teal, Ray, about that confidence issue, because it has to be an issue. And I got to think that Schiano's game plan coming in here is to throw the ball, throw it often, and get Teal so he's more comfortable again, not only in the pocket, but finding those 2 main receivers that he's had a hard time finding the first 3 games.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I will say this, Mike Teal, if you want to get your quarterback back to feeling where he could throw the ball, you start off with intermediate routes. And what I mean by intermediate, nice short passes to get the ball rolling. But I will say this, they need to throw the ball maybe 42 times, even if they're blowing Morgan State out or not. It doesn't matter. Taekwon Underwood, who you saw right there, and Kenny Britt coming into your screen right there. These 2 guys are 1,000-yard receiving last year, each of them. I mean, this, and they got a great tight end as well. This is where the offense should be concentrating on. They got to set up the run with the pass. I know you don't hear that too often, but they have to set up the run with the pass today.
You talk about 2,000-yard receivers. You talk about 2 all-Big East receivers in Britt and Underwood. And Underwood, I think, well, neither one of them has a touchdown. Underwood had 1 catch last game.
Yeah, and he's got to get these guys back into the ball game. That's a big task for Mike Teal. It's not just his confidence, it's the confidence of his receivers and the team around him. So if he's struggling, everyone else is going to start to get frustrated. They're going to start talking a little bit more, and we already saw what happens when people start talking.
And you start pointing fingers, and it's easy when you're holding offenses to a few points, and your offense is just not scoring points. And every time you get close, there's a pickoff play. Like you said, 6 interceptions, a lot of picks.
A lot of picks. And you know receivers, if they're not getting the ball, they are talking.
What do you make of Jordan Brooks? Because now it seems like everyone talks about Ray Rice. How are they going to make up for the loss of Ray Rice? Well, they've tried a couple of guys. Cordell Young getting hurt, this and that. Now you got Jordan Brooks. Looks like he might be at least part of the answer. Do you like what you saw from him last week?
Absolutely. A big back, strong, can run between the tackles, has a little bit of a burst. But I will say this. You want to take pressure off Mike? You run the rock, and he has to get over 4 yards of carry for that to happen.
What do you make about this, particularly the running game in general, how important that is for Rutgers to get that going, to relieve some of that pressure off Teal?
I agree with Ray, though. I think Teal has to do it with his arm, because that's where his confidence is going to come back. His confidence is not going to come back handing off the football and getting yards in the run game. It's going to come back in the pass, and the run game will come second.
All right, when we come back, the nation's leading rusher plays for UConn, and his name is Donald Brown. The Huskies were in Louisville last night. Highlights coming up after the break. Before we look forward to this evening's games in the Big East, let's look back to last night. UConn at Louisville, early second quarter. Donald Brown powers in over the left side, 10-0 Huskies. Brown with 190 yards on the day. Cards come back, though. 11 seconds left in the first half. It's Hunter Cantwell over the middle. He finds Victor Anderson, and Anderson's going to do the rest. Look at that move right there into the end zone. Louisville up 14-10 at the break. Third quarter, UConn down 21-10 now. Zach Frazier filling in for Tyler Lorenzen, who went down earlier with a broken foot. He's going to be out for a while. He finds Darius Butler for the score. Huskies down 4. Now, just under 3 to play. Louisville up 1, 3rd and 7. Cantwell did what he can't do. There was a pick to Eugene Wilson. Pick 6, 45 yards later. UConn wins it 26-21. Take a look at your Big East standings, and Connecticut firmly up top. South Florida is there as well. And the others, really teams like Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, even West Virginia, trying to battle to be that team that challenges one of those top teams right now in the standings. And we actually had a chance in the pregame show today to chat with Randy Edsall about his workhorse running back.
As a coach, you sit there and I've said that, we'd like to get get him some rest. But God, he just goes out there and he wants the ball, and he gets stronger as the game goes on. But you know, the good thing about Donald is he's in here now. He's in the pools downstairs in our training room, and he'll do that today, tomorrow, and on Monday, and he just does a great job of just taking care of his body. But you know, I get worried at times, but you know, he comes off the field and he says, "Coach, I'm fine. I don't need a break." And if he tells me that, then I'm just going to keep giving him the ball and feeding him the ball. We're just trying to play one game at a time, and we'll see where we're at the end of the year. And I think you know coaches well enough. We'll use it to our advantage however we can. But no, it doesn't really affect me or bother me. I'm just more worried about trying to get our kids ready to play each week and get them better each and every week. And then if we can do that, you know, things will take care of themselves. And the only thing that we can control is, you know, just how we prepare each week and then how we go out and play the game each week. And that's what we're really concerned with.
So Coach Edsel and his Huskies improved to 5-0. Don, my question for you is, you heard him talk about Donald Brown. He's got a very talented and experienced back in Andre Dixon that was injured at the beginning of the year, but now getting back to health. At what point in time do you say, look, I need to save Brown for later in the year, these big games like South Florida, and get Dixon some carries?
Well, I think you might see that happening if things start to look good in the ball game, that Dixon may start to get some more carries. But I think when he talks about Donald Brown getting stronger as the game goes on, the team around him is going to thrive on that. So I don't think he's going to start to take him out to save him. I think they're riding his back, and I think he's a key to the team.
I'll tell you what, Donald Brown had 36 carries that the Huskies had yesterday. He had 33 of them. So, and Dixon is almost a blessing to come in. They both had 900 yards last season. So when you take some pressure off of Donald Brown, like you said, you'll save him for the rest of the season. Let's not forget, this team will go as far as Donald Brown takes him, because the passing game leaves something to be desired. Well, and then you got a new quarterback in there in Frazier.
That's the other question. The other point is the fact that now you have Zach Frazier in there. Maybe he feels more comfortable with the passing game, but at some point in time, very good teams, very good defensive teams like South Florida are going to just stuff that box, and they're going to make you throw the football. Their first scoring drive last night, UConn didn't even throw the ball once. They just ran it right down their throats.
And that's what's going to happen. They're going to stack the box, and they're going to make you say, all right, well, now you have Zach Frazier in there. Beat me with your arm. And eventually, in South Florida, their defense is so fast, they're all over the place. You're not going to run sweeps against South Florida because they will stop you. So I'm going to say you're going to have to start relying back on the pass. Zach Frazier's going to have to step up big time for the UConn to go further down the line.
South Florida's the other undefeated team in the Big East. They've got a big game tonight at NC State. Not a conference game, but certainly against a team in the Wolfpack that have a lot of confidence right now. They beat East Carolina last week. This South Florida team, though, very impressive offensively in terms of just the number of weapons spread out around the field.
Yeah, they do. They have weapons in the backfield, a wide receiver. But, of course, Matt Grothe is the guy that makes it all happen for them. But against North Carolina State, he is going to have to be careful with the football. They're #1, North Carolina State, #1 in the ACC in takeaways with 12 so far in the season. So Matt Grothe is going to have to play very disciplined at the quarterback position.
And some news that you broke in our pregame show about South Florida on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, George Selvey is working on an ankle. It's a little bit soft, and so he's not going to be able to get up on the edge like he usually does with his speed rush. But this is a solid defense. Don't get me wrong. With George Selvey even a little bit slow, this is still a very good defense.
I will say this, though. Grothe, I think, is going to cause a lot of problems for NC State with his legs. You alluded to it this morning. I think that he will be on the move and make plays happen out on the field.
All right, 17-13 is the halftime score. Syracuse on top, trying to pull the upset in front of the home folks here at the Carrier Dome. We will see you after the game, and we'll transition and get you set for Rutgers and Morgan State. Enjoy the second half, everyone.
What's up?
Looking for a bigger house.
On TV?
Yeah, with Optimum Homes. You can look at houses right on your TV.
Pretty cool. But we don't need a bigger house.
I tell you, my mom may be moving in.
Give me that. How about this one? Detached garage with an upstairs apartment.
It's not heated.
Is heat important?
Introducing Optimum Homes. Find your next home without leaving home.
Now get mortgage and loan information courtesy of Bankrate.com and the Money Store.
Competitive prices, an extensive online catalog, superior service, it's all here at Action Auto Wreckers of Massapequa. We stock and install parts from all makes and models of cars, trucks, and SUVs and offer 3 generations of experience. So visit actionsalvage.com.
Migrating flocks of songbirds have been reduced by half. You can go online to arborday.org to learn more about rainforest rescue and to find out which trees to plant where you live, so our songbirds have a home in the summer and the winter too.
Back in the Dome, 17-13. Greg Robinson, Syracuse leading Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at the PNC first half highlights, John.
Well, with Syracuse, they really started the fireworks in that first half. A big return by Mike Holmes, 90 yards. He gets excellent blocking out in front of him, and he runs right down the Pitt sidelines to open up the scoring. He did a nice job of attacking the Pitt defense, who didn't tackle particularly well. They didn't cover well on this play. A 27-yarder from Dantley to Dante Davis, but Pitt comes back from the arm of Bill Stahl, and he hooks up with Doran Dickerson for a 2-yard touchdown just before halftime. Syracuse adds a field goal, and it gets us to the 17-13 Syracuse lead.
And going to break at halftime, how about that? Syracuse 7-0 when leading at halftime under Greg Robinson.
Thought it was a typo, partner, but Russ DeLynn, our staff man, is right on it.
Boy, that was a big one Russ pulled out. And we're ready to go here. Luke Briggs, the kicker from Midland, Michigan, getting ready to kick it off for Pittsburgh. And once again, Max Suter, Mike Holmes. Every kick has gone to number 35, Mike Holmes, so far. He's having a big afternoon. We'll see if he tries to keep it away from 35 and go to 24 this time. Here's the kick, and once again, it goes to Mike Holmes inside the 5-yard line. Up at the 20, 25, 30, 35, little juke 40, and he's dropped at the 47-yard line. Let's go downstairs with Quinn.
As they were entering the field, and Greg Robinson, always analytical, really pointed to 2 plays in the first half that made a difference. First of all, the Mike Holmes kickoff return. He says their team got a lot of energy, a lot of juice out of that play. He also pointed to the face mask penalty on Pitt's last touchdown drive as a negative play. Meanwhile, Dave Wannstedt said the kickoff return shook us bad. It took us about 5 minutes to bounce back. He pointed to his poor performance on third down conversions, drop passes, and no takeaways as things that Pitt must improve.
All right, thanks, Quint. Dantley over the football now. First play, second half. Syracuse had won the toss but deferred. Twin receivers at the bottom of your screen, and they're going to keep it on the ground. This is Brinkley. Brinkley is wrapped up immediately behind the line of scrimmage. And that's big number 40, Scott McKillop. Led the nation last year in tackles.
And this is a guy we really haven't talked about much. He's made a couple plays for this Pitt defense, but last week he was the Big East Player of the Week against Iowa. He had 10 total tackles, 3 tackles for a loss and a sack, and last year, just for good measure, career high 18 total tackles against South Florida. Just a very particular about the way he plays linebacker. Very meticulous, but very hard on himself as well.
Dantley, play action this time. Here comes the rush. He fires downfield, has his man, and that's number 11, LeVar Lobdell. Very interesting story. He caught 21 touchdown passes as a senior right here in Syracuse. He has not caught a touchdown pass since the state championship game in this building against Ray Rice's team.
Very strange, because he has all the tools to be a terrific receiver for the Orange, and on that particular play ran a nice crisp route to the outside, and credit Dantley's athleticism, avoiding the Pitt pass rush and getting on the edge.
Lobdell's 4th catch of the season. Keep it on the ground. Brinkley again inside the 40-yard line, dropped at about the 36, 37, gain of 7. Brinkley's over 100 now. So remember the goal. Mitch Browning saying 22 first downs. That's the goal. And right now they're approaching that.
And they're gaining on it. They're at 7 now, I believe, on the day. And I'm sure Greg Robinson told this offense, let's take this kickoff, get good field position, and let's stick it in for 6.
There's Brinkley again, this time running into a lot of traffic at the line of scrimmage. And there's a host of Panthers pushing him down to the turf. See big number 91, Greg Romeus, making the initial stop there along with Greg Williams. There's Mitch up in the box. Boy, he had some great offensive teams for Minnesota. 6,400 yards, that one team. He had the likes of Marion Barber, Lawrence Maroney, Gary Russell.
A wealth of talent at Minnesota, you're right. Now Syracuse in a 3rd and short situation. Let's see if they roll Cameron Dantley out or they want to feed their tailback again in Brinkley.
2 for 5 in 3rd down situations this afternoon. 3rd and 2. Want to go upstairs, giving Dantley more confidence. Again, looking, finding, and catching a touchdown. Van Chu, a true freshman. This one goes for 36 again on 3rd down.
What a catch by the freshman. Van Chu goes up and attacks the football. Just an awesome throw and an even better catch. Dantley put it in a spot where Chu could go up and make the catch. They may review this ball. Let's take a look and see if he comes down with this. There's the catch there. Does he have control of it? The official said yes, but they may take a look at this.
That's a tight call, but I agree with the officials if they say yes. Outstanding effort. Van Chu, 6'1", freshman. He had one catch coming in, 1 for 8 yards, and that was a big one for 36.
And that's over their best defender, Pitt's defender, Aaron Berry. Just a good throw and an even better catch. Definitely in bounds, Mike. There's the foot there, but does he have control as he touches the turf? It's tough to tell, and unless you can really see it to visually make the change on it, I think they may stay with this call.
Yeah, I think so. He pulls it in right there. I think he has it.
Looks like he cradles the football, and you can't tell. You cannot see the ball touching the turf. One more angle on it from the end zone.
For a true freshman, great focus to bring that in.
Absolutely. It's tough to tell. I think you're going to have the officials stay with the call. There's not a look that we've seen unless this one right here. You can't tell if that ball touches the turf. I think they stay with the call.
Under official review, Greg Robinson, you see the look in his eyes like, are you kidding me?
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Good call. So Dante Davis gets his first touchdown. Van Chu gets his first touchdown. Mike Holmes returns one 90 yards on a kickoff. And right now it's 23-13. And here comes Patrick Shadle trying to make it 24. And he does, right down the middle. 5 plays, 56 yards in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. The big play, a third down touchdown pass. Dantley, 36 yards to Van Chu. Let's take another.
Just a great throw by Dantley and a terrific catch by Chu, and that gets Robinson excited coming out of halftime.
Sometimes just getting to retirement seems impossible. That's where we come in. As one of the nation's 401k leaders, the principal offers many simple ways to plan for retirement, making it easier for you to get where you're going. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
I get out and I ride with my buddies every weekend, you know. We go out and get after it. Like today, we hit one section when everyone stopped, second guessed it. I just kept going. Rock here, rock there. Just got a handful, and there she went.
True all-wheel drive, new active descent control, legendary ride and handling. Polaris, the world's toughest ATVs. Polaris Power Play sales event. Get to your participating dealer for up to $800 in rebates and as low as 3.99% APR on select ATVs.
The holidays are coming. So are our friends, our family, and our neighbors. Welcome them home. Remember, your entire order ships for just $2.95 every day. Overstock.com. At home with the O.
This year's SEC Big East Invitational tips off December 16th with an incredible field featuring 5 top 25 teams. Nashville, Tennessee plays host as the SEC and the Big East go toe-to-toe in a great doubleheader matchup. Be there as Vanderbilt takes on South Florida and Marquette squares off with Tennessee at the Semay Center at 6 and 8:30 p.m. Don't miss this great event. Call the Semay Center box office at 615-770-2040 or visit Ticketmaster.com. Get your tickets now.
Hey, how'd you learn to do that? Come on, what's your secret? Would you take lessons? You got your own pro?
Yep, I got a bunch of them.
What do you mean you got a bunch of them?
Here, order your own.
Get 12 months of Golf Digest with easy-to-follow tips and techniques for just $14.97. Order today and receive this DVD absolutely free.
Call now to order Golf Digest, 800-543-6200. That's 800-543-6200.
And we're back inside the Dome. 12 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's now 24-13 Syracuse, looking for that first win in the Big East season.
Yeah.
5 plays, 56 yards, $120.
Mike, it was a great drive coming out of halftime and all culminating on that 36-yard touchdown pass from Dantley to Van Chu, the true freshman. Dantley on the afternoon, 6 of 9 for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So Nico Rahul going to kick off for Syracuse once again. Nico getting a lot of work this afternoon, not accustomed to that. There's the kick in the deep end. Stevens howling inside his 5-yard line, finds an opening, he's popped at the 26. He ran into a wall. All season long, Champion Apparel will be showcasing the tradition and history of the Big East Conference today. Let's take a look at Syracuse in that number 44. Of course, since 1954, 11 players have worn it. And of course, what comes to mind? Jim Brown,
Ernie Davis, Floyd Little.
You see Rob Conrad,
yeah.
Doggone good football player. He was the most to wear that number 44. You know, a few years ago, the university zip code was changed from 13210 to 13244. So that 44 number, very, very important here in Syracuse Nation. There it is, number 44.
A lot of jerseys in the Dome today with 44 for good reason.
After this play, another 44. And Syracuse playing on that adrenaline rush right now. A host of tacklers. See number 90, Jared Kimmel. He's there, 6'6", 255. He's a prototype. He's got the look anyway. His dad, Jamie, had 20.5 sacks, played for Syracuse back in 80 through 84.
He's got a great motor on that short side of the defense. He really gets upfield and is not afraid to mix it up. And he's a very hard-nosed defensive end, so he's got speed and athleticism to go with that strength.
Second and 8 for the Panthers. Stahl has Kinder again at the 32-yard line. He tries to dance around, finally wrapped up by Jake Flaherty. Gain of 7 on the play for Pittsburgh.
Well, Quint was talking to Dave Wanstead coming out of halftime, and he said third downs was one of those bugaboos again, like last week against Iowa. Well, now Pitt, their first possession of the third quarter, they come out, they have a 3rd and short, and Dave Wanstead looking up and saying, yeah, we need to convert this. We need to have success on third down and keep this drive alive and answer the score of Syracuse.
Last week, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, Wanstead said we're just not getting it done. There's a timeout call. First time out against Syracuse. First time out of the half.
I'm not sure if Greg Robinson and defensive coordinator Derek Jackson, they wanted to get on the same page. They were talking on the sideline. There you see both of them there. They were talking, want to get in situation and get the right personnel on the field on this third down.
Well, fans, don't forget to check out the Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year. Here's more on how you can vote for your favorite coach.
The Liberty Mutual Coach of the Year award is given to the college football coach in each division who delivers results while demonstrating sportsmanship, integrity, responsibility, and excellence both on and off the field. Go to coachoftheyear.com and vote for the coach you think deserves to win in 2008.
Well, a little early to vote for the Coach of the Year, but how about some of the big games? Huh? USC going down. How about Alabama and Georgia? TCU and Oklahoma. Sam Bradford, 79% he's hit this year.
Yeah, I think I'm going to hunker down later with the Dogs and watch that Alabama game.
And Joe Pa, of course, back on the field against Illinois as the Nittany Lions. Stahl rolls out, leaves the pocket, finds Kinder over the 50, and he goes out of bounds at the 45. So it looks like Kinder slowly looking like the guy he was in 2006.
Just a good job of separation between tailback and wide receiver. There was a flat route run, short and shallow, and Bill Stahl did an excellent job of having the patience and waiting on Kinder to get in and out of that route. And that's a big play in this football game to move the chains on third down, their first possession, to keep the play alive and try to get some of that momentum back on the Panthers sideline.
Gain of 20 for the first down, and today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a little play action and try to go over the top here on first down.
Kinder now with 7 catches for 88 yards. Keeping it upstairs. Kinder again. Tries to spin away, and he's wrapped up. by Damone Merkerson, and Bruce Williams coming over to make the finishing touch after the gain of 4.
Well, we haven't talked about it much, but Bill Stahl hurt his hip last week against Iowa, and he's been very courageous this afternoon. A little bit of a hip pointer in talking with Bill Fralick, who does the radio, was one of my former linemen at the University of Pittsburgh, went on to be a terrific NFL lineman. But he said, you know, Bill's been in a lot of pain this week, and he's done a nice job throughout taking some shots and staying in the pocket, doing a good job of showing his toughness and leadership from that quarterback position.
That's an interesting point, as McCoy is hit head on. Now, Vincenzo Giruzzi, the 6'3" senior from Utica, New York. Well, he's a defensive end, John, and he had 26 tackles coming in. He's all over the place.
Vinny Alphabets gets it done on the edge. Did a good job of holding his ground, taking on the would-be blocker, and then really delivering the blow to LaShawn McCoy. Vinny doing an excellent job of showing how strong he is on the edge.
Loss of 2 on the play. McCoy heads back to the sideline. McCoy was quoted this week as saying, watching film from last year's 20-17 game, that Syracuse, despite the record, has a tough defense. They play hard. Stahl. Well, it seems like every time he wants to find one of his wideouts, they're open, though. That's our Derek Turner that time. Not as active as Kinder, but that one goes for 10 and another first down.
Boy, Syracuse is making it really too easy for Bill Stahl to hang in the pocket. Watch the separation on the outside. Just a good job of coming in and out of the route. And Mike Holmes is inside the route but cannot break on the play because the ball is getting out there with some velocity. Bill Stahl doing an excellent job of moving this offense through the air. 14-23. He has 1 touchdown and 145 yards, and Pitt doing a nice job on 3rd down. 7 of 11 on the afternoon.
That is good. High percentage, but they do trail 24-13. 8:49 to go in the 3rd quarter. McCoy hits the left side. He's pulled down just inside the 30-yard line. It's number 51, Andrew Lewis, a sophomore. We look at this team. Greg Robinson, 7 true freshmen, 6 true freshmen, a redshirt freshman, 8 true sophomores, all in the 2 deeps. He's got a young football team.
He does, and they're playing hard this afternoon, and that's why they have the lead right now. You can sense the frustration of McCoy not really being able to bust out on a big run.
McCoy cuts it in. And that time, number 50, Mike Mealy, the sophomore linebacker from Seagirt, New Jersey, makes the tackle. We're inside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. It's the Big East opener in 2008. Along with John Congemi, former Pitt quarterback, Quinn Kesnick. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us here on the Big East Network. And it's been a good one. Good way to open up 2008. Syracuse leading this one 24-13.
Syracuse is bringing a lot of pressure on 3rd down, especially 3rd and short. Wouldn't be surprised if Pitt tries to go to their tight end that's flexed up at the top.
McCoy in motion, top of your screen. He comes back the other way. Throws it behind Kinder, and Kinder pays the price. Boy, A.J. Brown, he's been playing some wood out there today.
We have to put that one on the quarterback, Bill Stahl, and he's the first one that knows it. He was disappointed he wasn't able to put that football out in front of Derek Kinder and convert on 3rd down. That's called a hot receiver, an uncovered receiver. Bill's going to get that snap and try to deliver the football, and you can see his frustration as he leaves to go to the sideline.
Connor Lee, good from 40, good from 43. This one will be from 44. Boy, this young man is accurate. Good from 40, 43, and now 44. 3 more points for the Pitt Panthers. 7:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. 24-16 Syracuse.
There's only one utility vehicle that can do it all. Only one that can outrun. Only one that can outpull. Only one that can outride. And only one that can outwork every utility vehicle out there. Only Ranger. Hardest working, smoothest riding. Get financing as low as 2.99% and up to $800 during the Power Play sales event.
at PNC committed to the idea of green? What better investment is there? PNC leading the way.
This is Kirk. You know you're a true Outback fan when you think great coverage is crispy bacon wrapped around a filet on our mixed grill with sweet shrimp and sautéed scallops. To you, cutting up the middle means slicing into our special sirloin. 17 spices, big, bold flavor seared in. Great picks, starting at $9.99 for a limited time. Go, go, go. Crave on.
So I just moved into the city. I got a new job. I moved into the smallest apartment ever. I still can't get around on the subway. Well, at least I don't have to worry about my new health plan. It's a no-brainer. It lets me see most of New York Magazine's best doctors. My doctor's even kind of cute. Sorry, gotta go. That's my new boyfriend.
And right now, Greg Robinson's Orange leading 24-16 with 7:20 to go in quarter number 3. If they should pull out this upset win, they would go to 2-3. Pittsburgh trying to get to 3-1 this year.
Yeah, Pittsburgh did a nice job of answering Syracuse's score with a score of their own, but they've held the time of possession, but they haven't converted into 7 points. They've settled for long field goals, and you have to credit Connor Lee for keeping the Panthers in this football game.
Luke Briggs with the kick for Pittsburgh. And once again, it looks like it's sailing for number 35, Mike Holmes. Busy afternoon returning kicks, so he's having a fun time. He spun around, still on his feet. He's still on his feet. Finally gets wrestled down at the 25-yard line. A return of 13. So the big story at the top of the broadcast, of course, the heat that Greg Robinson's feeling, and Dave Wanstead, the expectations they have in Pittsburgh this year.
Well, you can tell by Greg Robinson's Big East overall record, only 2 wins, and an overall record of only 8 wins in his 4th year. You know, you can sense that there's been some difficult times in Syracuse, and the pressure of him to win and win now. They've done a nice job today of coming out with a sense of urgency, and like I said in the open, it's a new season for them. It's the Big East opener. They have an opportunity because there's not that big team, a dominant team in the Big East.
Dantley hitting 7 different receivers last week, 6 already this afternoon. Going upstairs again. Going for the a little deeper ball. This is Lobdell. LeVar Lobdell moving the chains for a first down. So getting back to Lobdell after that 15-yard gain, Greg Robinson said people probably put him on too high of a pedestal coming out of high school. When you're a young man and success doesn't come to you very quickly, you get frustrated sometimes. Today's First and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. 1st and 10. That's the goal for Mitch Browning and Syracuse. They want 22 on the afternoon. A little razzle-dazzle this time. They're keeping it on the ground. Nowhere to go. And finally, McKillop is there. That was Daniel Bailey, the junior from Centerville, Virginia, 5'7", 167-pound scat back. You're better off just staying with the game plan.
Go ahead and stay with the game plan. They try to pull one out of the cobwebs, and they get the end around coming here. But really, Pittsburgh did an excellent job of staying at home. They did a nice job of containing the outside to the short side of the field. Then you see about 4 or 5, 6 white jerseys around the football, all led by their middle linebacker, Scott McKillop.
Dantley is having a good time putting the ball up in the air. Lobdell, 40. And he's dragged down by Don DeSico. So this might be the breakout game that LeVar Lobdell has been waiting for. The junior from Syracuse, gain of 27 that time.
Well, remember this play because this is a huge play. After losing on first down, you're going to see the crosser coming from across the field, wide side to short side. Just an excellent strength throw by Dantley of finding his would-be receiver Lobdell, and he's had 3 big catches this afternoon. Dantley's numbers to 6 different receivers, 8 completions just doing a nice job of spreading the well.
This is Brinkley. Nowhere to go. Good job that time by number 7. That's Giovanni Chappelle coming up from his cornerback spot. You talk about Dantley's numbers, John. They've really boosted in the second half. He only had 43 yards passing in the first half.
Yeah, but he's been very efficient on his throws. He's done a nice job of putting the football where his receivers have an easy time of catching the ball, and a big catch for the touchdown to Van Chu early in this second half. And Dante Davis did an excellent job in the first half adjusting to a throw. So Dantley's done his part.
2nd and 9 now for the Orange. It's Brinkley. Twin receivers at the top of your screen. Brinkley in the backfield. Well, he was looking right away for Van Chu. Right after the 3-step drop, and he fired it to number 82, who pulled in his first touchdown pass. Now, Big East football fans, listen to this. Each week, John Congemi will answer your Big East football questions during coverage of the Big East game of the week. Log on to www.espnplus.com. Click on Congemi's Corner to send John your questions today. Tune in next week when Rutgers takes on West Virginia to hear if John answers your question and what does John have to say.
And I will.
Let me say that.
With your help, Lee, we're going to get some input from you, too.
3 of 6 now, 3rd down. I don't think they want to hear from me. They want to hear from that former Pitt quarterback. Dantley out of the gun. Whoa, he's going down. Now keep in mind, Pittsburgh came in with 11 sacks already, over 3 a game. That's their first one today.
Well, the Panthers had to answer. There was a couple of nice plays on the drive by Dantley, finding Laudell on the outside. But this time the pressure, the pocket just collapses from the left side. And a great job of 3 or 4 Panthers being around Dantley. Just an excellent job of collapsing the pocket. And Sheard was the first guy there, the strong defensive end for the Panthers.
I'm glad you said that. I was just going to say, who gets the credit for that sack?
Yeah, absolutely. He was the first guy there.
Barry's going to let this one hit at the 10-yard line. Well, that one hit right at the 10. They're trained to say, hey, if it's inside the 10, let it go. Well, this one had some lead in it. Hit at the 10, and it stays at the 10 after the punt of 30 yards. 24-16, Syracuse still on top.
Jim, when you touch down at Hampton, you wake up a winner.
That's right, Tracy. Thanks to their complimentary hot breakfast. Omelet.
Sausage.
French toast sticks.
I love French food. And sticks.
There are better days to meet us where we stand. They are gathering in clouds and spreading out over.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, how'd you learn to do that? Come on, what's your secret? Would you take lessons? You got your own pro?
Yep, I got a bunch of them.
What do you mean you got a bunch of them?
Here, order your own.
Get 12 months of Golf Digest with easy-to-follow tips and techniques for just $14.97. Order today and receive this DVD absolutely free.
Call now to order Golf Digest, 800-543-6200. That's 800-543-6200.
When you touch down at Hampton, you wake up a winner.
That's right. Thanks for their friendly service.
They even remembered my name.
What is your name?
That you will never know.
Smart move, Tracy.
Seriously, what's your name?
Hey, Lisa, what do you think?
What is that?
It's my new PWC and the awesome protection plan I got for it.
There's an easier way to protect your PWC. Call Geico. They help insure all types of vehicles.
Geico Power Sports. Insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
4:07 to go in the 3rd quarter, 24-16. Today's Big East football game is produced and distributed by ESPN Regional Television. For more information, log on to espnplus.com. There's Otto. Good buddies with Quint Kessick now after hanging out yesterday. And I still wonder how you have a conversation with one of those guys. Stahl with the pitch to McCoy. McCoy tries to cut it up. Bruce Williams is there. But Mike Mealy making initial contact. Let's go downstairs now with Quint.
Joined by a special guest, Syracuse alum Art Monk, recent induction into the NFL Hall of Fame in August. Congratulations. What's been the most rewarding part of now being an NFL Hall of Famer?
Well, just the fact that it's over with. I don't have to wait any longer. And obviously, it's a great honor being included with a bunch of great guys who I grew up watching and some I played against. So it's just a real honor to finally have to be able to put HOF after my name.
You're here on campus. You received the Syracuse 8 Courage Award, 1970 class. Members of that team rallied for equal treatment among players, whether black or white. What does that mean to you?
Well, obviously, it means a lot. Because I can identify with the guys who helped me benefit from being a part of this program. Those guys stood for something. They stood for change. And that change is something that I benefited from, something that these guys are benefiting greatly from.
You're currently a member of the Board of Trustees. You're very involved with the athletic department. There's been a mini firestorm lately with this football program. In your mind, where should Syracuse football be?
Well, obviously, it's not where we want it to be. You know, we need to win some games, and I think it's more than just winning games. We want to be back up to where we're very competitive, winning some Big East championships, going to bowl games. That's kind of the level of the program that we want to see back here again.
Thanks, Art. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Thanks, Quint, as McCoy picks up the first down for Pittsburgh. Now, Art Monk, the 6th member of the Syracuse football alumni to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So in 16 years, John, 2 Super Bowls, receiving end of 940 passes. He had 68 touchdowns. And you know what? He was on the receiving end of 164 consecutive games where he caught at least one ball.
He was a special receiver, and you can tell just a great man and a proud Syracuse man.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. McCoy still on the field. And I'll tell you, that defensive front for Syracuse is starting to really get it done. Not too much running room.
They've done a nice job all afternoon of really containing LaShawn McCoy and LaRod Stevens-Howling. Not a lot of big runs by the Panthers. The thing they have to stop is Bill Stahl on the outside going to Derek Kinder. That's been the hookup that's really been hurting the Orange in the second half, or early in the second half.
Inside 2 minutes of the third quarter. Pittsburgh rushing for 85 yards and 21 carries here this afternoon. Kinder. Well, this one was hanging up there. It could have been picked off, but Kinder drops it at Mike Flaherty, and Holmes, or Jake Flaherty, Mike Holmes, defending on the play that time for the Orange.
Well, if you're Dave Wanstead on that sideline, that's a ball that Bill Stahl put in a perfect spot, and that needs to be caught because now you're in 3rd and long situation. If you catch the football, you're either in 3rd and very, very short, or that's a 1st down if you break a tackle. So that's one of those plays that comes back. You know, Bill Stahl did his job, and Kinder needed to catch that football to keep this drive alive.
We'll see the graphic 8 of 13. That's 62% so far today. Out of the shotgun, they come back the other way, and this is complete over the 35-30 up to the 32. Check that, excuse me. Now the receiving end, that's Jonathan Baldwin. And that's the big freshman. You know what, John? That's his first catch of the 2008 season. Boy, this guy, number 82, Jonathan Baldwin, he was a stud in high school.
Well, he did a great job of holding on to the football because for his first collegiate catch, that was a big shot at the end of it. He's a big body at 6'5", 220 out of Aliquippa, and I had the honor playing with his dad, Jeff. He was a teammate of mine in the early 80s, a defensive lineman for the Panthers, but that was a terrific job of holding on to the football at the end of that catch.
So let me tell you, last year, Baldwin averaged 17.5 yards a catch, 22 points a game on the basketball floor. Who's more athletic, him or Dad?
His mom. It goes Mom, and then it goes Jonathan.
Well, what about Jeff? I don't know if I can back you up. How big is he?
He's too big. I'd have to run from him, so we may have to enter back into that conversation.
Well, excuse me for laughing then, I guess. They're bringing out the chains, looking for that.
Just short of the 1st down are the Panthers, and it looks like that offense is going to stay out on the field.
You get back to the gelling of the offensive line. Jeff Otal, 1st-round pick of the Carolina Panthers. Mike McGlynn is gone, went to the NFL. So it's going to be interesting to see if the big guys up front can move this. 4th and 1 now. Look where the ball is, just over the 30-yard line. Syracuse territory. Looks like Stahl might have picked it up that time. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, so he kind of bull rushed his way in there. Now they're moving the chain, so it's another first down for the Pitt Panthers. So as far as percentages, they're doing a pretty good job moving the chains. They just can't put the points on the board.
They've done a nice job of moving the football and especially of time of possession, controlling it. The Panthers need to change those field goals into touchdowns.
Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Overstock.com. It's nice having that 1st and 10 line, that yellow line sitting at home on your couch. So much easier to find out where that first down marker is. Here's McCoy trying to bounce to the outside, which he does. 50, 45, 40, trying to cut back down. Too many orange, and he lays down at about the 32-yard line. 34 yards, and the Syracuse fans didn't like the fact that he laid down.
Well, I know he was trying to make a big play bigger, but he could finish that run and probably got another 5 or 8 yards if he continues to go outside. But finally, LaShawn McCoy breaks outside. A good block by C.J. Davis to spring him. If LaShawn just keeps running to the outside, he's probably going to take Brown another 5 or 10 yards. So I'm not quite sure if he was trying to cut back inside, didn't like it, and decided, well, I don't need the punishment. I'm just going to sit right here about the 32-yard line.
Good call. He was trying to cut back. All defense of him. Turn and saw number 45, Jake Flaherty. McCoy now with 105 yards. A big run did in his first 100-yard game of the year. Tripped up that time on the left side. He had 7 100-yard games. Tony Dorsett had 10 when he was a rookie.
Well, he's a talent. He can catch the football out of the backfield as well. He can do it all. He can block, pass protect. This guy's a very talented young running back for the Panthers.
What did Dorsett say? That, yes, he reminds me of me?
Yeah, that's a big statement.
That's going to be the final play of quarter number 3. Here we go, the final 15 minutes here in Syracuse. And right now the Orange leading at 24-16. A lot of action. Greg Robinson said this team was ready to explode. Dantley to Chew, the freshman, his first touchdown as a college football player.
Improve power, performance, and gas mileage with Lucas Fuel Treatment. It's an energy drink for your engine. So whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Sometimes just getting to retirement seems impossible. That's where we come in. As one of the nation's 401k leaders, the principal offers many simple ways to plan for retirement, making it easier for you to get where you're going. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
I get out and I ride with my buddies every weekend, you know. We go out and get after it. Like today, we hit one section when everyone stopped, second guessed it. I just kept going. Rock here, rock there. I just got a handful, and there she went.
True all-wheel drive, new active descent control, legendary ride and handling. Polaris, the world's toughest ATVs. Polaris Power Play sales event. Get to your participating dealer for up to $800 in rebates and as low as 3.99% APR on select ATVs.
6,800 student athletes. 1.7 million fans. 34 world champions. College bowl games, where everybody wins. Brought to you by the Football Bowl Association.
They say 40 is the new 30 and 30 is the new 20. But is your hair loss making you look older than you feel? Then you need Follicare, a leading product that's better and easier than before.
The growth has been incredible. I've regrown my hair at least 2-3 times over in such a short period of time.
Follicare is better because its unique 4-in-1 action targets all the major reasons for hair loss, helping you turn back the age clock.
I started using Follicare, and within less than 6 months, I've seen a tremendous amount of difference.
If you're young and starting to thin, Follicare is for you. If you want a thicker head of hair, Follicare Folicare is for you. If you've been losing hair for a long time, Folicare is definitely for you.
You know, I would have never thought at 43 years old that I could have a head of hair better than my 23-year-old son.
I recommend Folicare to all my patients because it works.
Don't let simple hair loss make you look older. Folicare takes years off your appearance, all for as little as $1 a day. For you skeptics, Folicare comes with a full 1-year satisfaction guarantee. Order Folicare today. Like thousands of others, you'll be glad you did.
Back inside the dome, here we go. The final 15 minutes, 24-16, Syracuse on top. Pittsburgh driving again. McGee in motion, they keep it on the ground. Stevens howling, breaks to the outside. He's got some running room inside the 10-yard line. Finally dragged down by number 17, A.J. Brown.
Boy, Mike, you can really see why Matt Cavanaugh, the offensive coordinator, loves LaRod Stevens howling. He goes 20 yards off the left side and really explodes off the blocks. Just a cross block at the edge. Nice job of kicking out by number 74, John Malicki, the right guard. And LaRod Stevens howling inside the 10 for the Panthers, and they've been perfect in the red zone.
Stevens howling with that big game 2 years ago here in the Dome. They give it to him again, looking for some running room. Breaks away and got it for the touchdown. An outstanding second effort. LaRod Stevens howling at over 200 yards rushing 2 years ago. As a matter of fact, he became the first 200-yard rusher since Kevin Barlow.
9 yards for the score, and Dave Wanstead on that sideline is going to go for 2. But you can see the strength of Stevens howling. Only 5'7", 180 pounds, but he's dragging players to the end zone. He drags Davis to the end zone. Just a nice job of showing that strength and inside the tackle running.
So 24-22, there's still 14-26 to go. I guess it's too early to ask you if they're going for 2, huh?
Well, they're going for 2. 14-26, and Dave Wanstead immediately made that decision on the sidelines. See if he can even it up for his Panthers.
Heinrich Collins, the fullback, in the backfield behind Stahl. There's twin receivers, split to the left, goes for the lob, looking, and he's got it. That's the freshman, Jonathan Baldwin. He had 0 catches coming in, and now he has 2, including his first collegiate touchdown.
Well, that helps that that ball was underthrown because Damone Murkison was in a good position if that ball was thrown up high. But they go to the big guy, Jonathan Baldwin, 6'5", 220 in the corner. Did a nice job of going up and getting that football.
Check that. Baldwin has his first 2-point conversion. Stevens howling with the touchdown for Dave Wanstead. 24-24.
A lot goes through your mind after an accident. But with Liberty Mutual, insurance issues won't. Because we offer unlimited rental coverage, new car replacement, and accident forgiveness to help ease your mind. And that's our policy. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
The Buick, Pontiac, and GMC employee discount on every 2008. And now, many 2009s. You pay what we pay, but only until September 30th.
Now get a Pontiac G6 with better combined fuel efficiency than Honda Accord. Starting at just $16,720. Hurry, these are the final days of the GM Employee Discount for Everyone event. See your dealer by September 30th.
Let go! Just let go! Oh, to just let go.
Let's go. Just let go. Just let go for the fun. Just let go for the adventure. For the lazy and the crazy times where the ocean meets the sun. In this sandy white oasis, no matter what your pace is, you can get away, while away, hide away, break away. Trade winds, island resort. Just let go. Oh, come on, just let go.
This year's SEC Big East Invitational tips off on December 18th with an incredible field featuring 5 top 25 teams. Cincinnati, Ohio plays host as the SEC and the Big East go toe-to-toe in a great doubleheader matchup. Be there as Cincinnati takes on Mississippi State and Louisville squares off with Ole Miss at US Bank Arena at 6:30 and 9 p.m. Don't miss this great event. Call 513-562-4949 or visit Ticketmaster.com. Get your tickets now.
The devil is building his army. Max Payne is looking for something that God wants hidden. That makes him dangerous.
When the people a man needs get taken away from him, you can't ever go back to who you were before.
PG-13. October 17th only in theaters.
Tied at 24. John, let's take a look now at Polaris Ranger, hardest working player of the game.
And that's LaRod Stevens howling. He goes inside and gets a couple good blocks, but this is sure determination inside the 10-yard line. He bounces off a would-be tackler that drags him about 4 yards into the end zone for the hardest working player of the game. And that's LaRod Stevens howling, doing a nice job for the Panthers, coming in and spelling LaShawn McCoy.
And again, we go back to 2006 here in the Dome. He had 27 carries for 221 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown was a 70-yarder. And even LaShawn McCoy, who had over 1,300 yards rushing last year, says, Stevens howling, he's still the big dog. I'm still the pup. He's the man. They have a great relationship. And, of course, the coaching staff just loves the fact that LaRod Stevens howling has never complained about playing time. Kick is going to Holmes again inside the 5-yard line. Tries to weave his way through some traffic. A lot of banging helmets down there, just over the 20. Making the initial contact down after the return of 18 is number 86, Austin Ransom. The young man goes from a walk-on defensive back to a receiver, and now he's starting at linebacker. He was the player of the game last week in Iowa with 9 tackles, according to the Pitt coaching staff.
Well, that's a guy that Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator for the Panthers, said when we looked at our notes from spring, he was making tackles everywhere, so we had to try to find a place to put him on the field. He's a tough, smart player, and does a nice job for the Panthers at linebacker.
Here we go. Syracuse looking for that first win in the Big East this year. Tied at 24. See if they can hang on or take the lead again. 14-21 to go in the ball game. Here's the pitch. Trying to turn the corner.
Mike, this is the time of the game right now that Cameron Danley just needs to manage the football game. He needs to control what they're doing offensively. And it's very important, as Pitt answered with a score after Syracuse went down and made some big plays for a touchdown. Cameron Danley needs to take this offense now, take it a play at a time, and just try to execute and move the chains. It's very important, this first set of downs after that Pitt score, to convert with a first down, and it looks like a little bit of confusion. He's going to take a timeout and just talk it over on the sidelines with his head coach, Greg Robinson.
That's their second timeout, so Syracuse down with 1 timeout remaining with 13:42. I paused right after that call. I thought it was Brinkley, but they snuck in Daniel Bailey again. Bailey with his second carry, the 5'7", 167-pounder. They think Bailey can break one because he has some exceptional speed.
They may want to get a changeup, or maybe they had a specific package or play set up for him. And you can see Greg Robinson, let's go, let's keep that momentum right now. They need to find a way to take over that momentum or retake it back and make it into positive plays for this offense.
Danley wearing that number 4. That's the number that his dad wore in Utah that was retired by the Utah Jazz. Says he owes everything, as he told you at halftime, to his mother and father. Adrian saying that he's never met anyone that didn't like Cameron. And Adrian said there's a lot of people that don't like me. Brinkley over the 25-yard line. Or check that. It wasn't Brinkley. It was Antoine Bailey. Pittsburgh, Syracuse, 2008's Big East opener here from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York. Former Pitt quarterback John Congenital, Dwight Kessler, down Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us. And it's been a good one. We're deadlocked at 24. Speaking of former Pitt quarterback John Congenital, as you take a look at the field, John Congenital once threw a 75-yard touchdown pass in this building with a broken back.
Right about in that same spot where Cameron Dantley is going to try to convert on third down.
3 of 7 on third down for the Qs. Little play action out of the shotgun, and there's nowhere to go. Good pressure that time. Up front for Pittsburgh.
Rashad Duncan did an excellent job of trying to find that quarterback, and he finally did in the Syracuse backfield for a loss. And that's a big set of downs for the Panthers on defense. They're going to get this football back. They continue to stop Syracuse on third and long. When Syracuse is in good situations, they were coming into that third down situation 3 of 7. Now they're 3 of 8, but they've done a good job when it was third and short. Third and long, not so good.
As Mick Williams credited with that tackle as Long kicks it. Aaron Berry backs up inside the 25-yard line. Well, he couldn't wait to get his mitts on the football because he knew he had some running room. There he is over the 45, dropped at about the 49-yard line. 53-yard punt, a return to 24 by Aaron Berry, the 5'11 junior out of Harrisburg, PA. 24-24, we're deadlocked.
I get out and I ride with my buddies every weekend, you know. We go out and get after it. Like today, we hit one section when everyone stopped, second guessed it. I just kept going. Rock here, rock there. I just got a handful, and there she went.
True all-wheel drive, new active descent control, legendary ride and handling. Polaris, the world's toughest ATVs. Polaris Power Play sales event. Get to your participating dealer for up to $800 in rebates and as low as 3.99% APR on select ATVs.
Any wallet can hold your money, but only one can actually manage it. Help you save it. Remind you when you're getting low on it. Even easily move it from one place to another. Best of all, this is one wallet you'll never lose. Introducing the Virtual Wallet from PNC, a high-definition online view of your money. PNC, leading the way.
Car fired up with Bosch Platinum Plus 2 spark plugs. Now, the offer ends September 27th, so whatever you're working on, Advance will help you keep the wheels turning.
Never before has the Gecko been captured on film talking about RV insurance.
So, you guys travel a lot. You should check out Geico and get a free rate quote on RV insurance.
This is truly history in the making.
You can also get a rate quote on motorcycle insurance, ATV insurance, personal watercraft insurance.
Sounds good.
Excuse me, I'm up here.
Geico, saving you money on insurance for your car and the other stuff that moves you.
4 to go in the ball game, deadlocked at 24 in the Dome. Let's take a look now at our Liberty Mutual play of the game, John.
Well, it was a big pass and catch. Cameron Dantley coming back and firing to the end zone to the true freshman, Van Chu, with an excellent catch. Had the presence of mind to keep his feet in bounds, hold on to the football, make Greg Robinson really excited in that first half. Just a nice play by a young player.
Now, Mitch Browning telling us in the meeting yesterday, says, you know, we have some athletes here. There's no reason why we can't win. And some of those kids showing off their athleticism here this afternoon. Stahl keeps it on the run. McCoy now, he's over 100. And he's dragged down inside Syracuse territory. It's Nico Scott making the tackle after a gain of 5.
Pittsburgh's been doing it in the air and on the ground, and it's all been started by quarterback Bill Stull. The last 4 drives, 44 plays, 275 yards and 21 points. They've done an excellent job of scoring in all of the last 4 drives, and Dave Wannstedt and that offense really getting it going in the second half.
And again, as we mentioned earlier, the winning drive against Iowa on a 21-20 win covered 80 yards. McCoy looking for some running room, gets through some traffic, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Finally, Nick Santiago, the defensive tackle, dragged him down, but not after he picked up 17 yards.
Great job by LaShawn McCoy of once he breaks the line of scrimmage and gets into the secondary, watch him cover the football. He's about ready to let it go, and watch him protect the football right there. He knows that that's on his mind. That's the only way he's going to come out of the football game if he leaves it on the carpet. So that's good coaching and really harping on that situation by running backs coach David Walker.
Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by Overstock.com. McCoy now with 130 yards rushing. They're going for that same corner. And there's a penalty flag as Nico Scott is all tied up with number 1 Cedric McGee. And that'll be a 15-yarder.
Boy, and I don't know if that ball was catchable. If Nico Scott just kind of lays off. He had already pressured number 1 Cedric McGee all the way to the front pylon and out of bounds. That ball would have landed out of bounds.
Pass interference. 28 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Take another look at this, Mike, and see if this ball was catchable. It's good position by McGee trying to go up. It's definitely pass interference, but I think that ball, I take that back. That ball could have been caught. It landed in bounds. So that's definitely pass interference, and a good job of fighting through to try to get the ball by Cedric McGee.
Now the Panthers at the 15-yard line. Rod Stevens howling. He's pushed back. Damone Merkerson, sophomore from New Jersey. Played on both sides of the football here this afternoon. He's been pretty active on the defensive side.
Yeah, nice play there, showing of strength on the right side. The Pitt offensive line really nowhere to go. You see at the point of attack that the fullback out in front, Carmridge Collins, trying to block 3 guys, takes 1 out of the play, but the other 2 were there, and one of them was Merkerson.
Loss of 2 on the play. You know, John, you hear so many coaches talking about assignment football, but here the operative word was trust. And sometimes you don't trust somebody. The other team breaks off a big gainer, but Syracuse has really improved in that department, I think, today.
They've got a mismatch up on top, and they better call timeout. That's a good timeout by the Syracuse defense and defensive coaches and coordinator Derek Jackson. They had LaShawn McCoy out on a linebacker with space.
So Syracuse now with 1 timeout left. Pittsburgh still with 2 with 10 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Derek Jackson, the co-defensive coordinator from Syracuse right there in his first season. Former Michigan State coach. You know, let's go deeper on that, John. Talk about the word trust. Expound on that a little bit. Now, assignment football, I think most people understand it. Play your assignment. Don't try to do too much. Explain the trust factor.
Well, I think especially on defense, you know, you've got a gap assignment. Everybody's responsible for a gap assignment up front. So if one guy is out of that relationship or out of that gap, you don't try to make up for that guy, and now you're out of position. Now it takes 2 people out. So you have to trust that everybody's going to fill a gap and everybody's going to be in the right spot at the right time. And that all goes back to repetition and coaching and being successful. And that's something that Syracuse has had a hard time being consistent at over the past couple of years. So that trust breaks down a little bit, and that's what they're trying to do on the defensive side, build that back up.
2nd and 12. TJ Porter at the bottom of your screen. Well, here they come. Santiago, and there's a pick, or a potential pick, but it was dropped. Darryl Smith had it, and he dropped it. There's another young man, 6'1", 225, sophomore Smith. He went from linebacker to running back to linebacker to defensive end, now back to linebacker again.
Well, Santiago comes right up the middle, and Bill Stahl had nothing to do but try to throw this football away, but he had so much pressure he couldn't get anything on it, and it almost turns out to be a huge play for the Syracuse defense, and Smith trying to catch the football and stay in bounds. He was frustrated, but he didn't come down with that catch.
And Smith probably should have came down, being a former running back.
There's the mismatch right there at the top, Lee.
Stevens howling. It's inside the 10-yard line. Had to get down to about the 5.5-yard line. And it's going to be short for the first down. So the Panthers will be facing a 4th down and another kicking situation. Connor Lee. Again, let's run down Connor Lee today. 40, 43, 44 yards.
This,
all good.
This is like a gimme. The kicks that he's been kicking. This is only 25 yards out.
Yeah, he's 84 of 84 in PAT, so he can close his eyes. This is a walk in the park. And as soon as I said that, I said, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't jinx the poor young man. It's good from 25 yards out, and Pittsburgh has the lead at 27-24. And Greg Robinson now has to re-rally the troops with 9:17 to go in the 4th quarter.
The Buick, Pontiac, and GMC employee discount on every 2008. And now, many 2009s. You pay what we pay. but only until September 30th.
Now get a Pontiac G6 with better combined fuel efficiency than Honda Accord. Starting at just $16,720. Hurry, these are the final days of the GM Employee Discount for Everyone event. See your dealer by September 30th.
There are better days to meet us where we stand. They are gathering in clouds and spreading out over.
When it's people who do the right thing, they call it being responsible. When it's an insurance company, they call it Liberty Mutual. Responsibility. What's your policy? Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Going to the game this weekend, Jim?
Well, Jerry, for more on that, let's throw it over to the Hampton Hotel where my wife Tracy is checked in. Trace, what's the mood over there?
In a word, Jim, electric. Comfy beds, complimentary hot breakfast, and friendly service.
Trace, what's that noise I hear?
Wow, I wish you listened this well at home, Jim.
She's kidding.
I'm not. It's college football, honey.
Well, there you have it, folks. And Trace, I'll see you in a few hours. Back to you, Jerry.
Thank you.
All right.
Nissan set out to create the perfect on-road vehicle, and in the process, created a category. Introducing two crossover leaders from Nissan, the redesigned Murano, awarded as an IIHS top safety pick, and the versatile Rogue, named 2008's best new small crossover. Lease the 27 MPG Nissan Rogue, just $229 a month. Don't follow the leader, own one. At your Nissan dealer now.
And the Syracuse fans, they've been #1 on the scoreboard for most of the day. Pittsburgh has just taken their first lead of the afternoon with 9:17 to go as Connor Lee drilled his fourth field goal, 25 yards out, 6 plays, 44 yards in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Luke Briggs ready to kick off, and once again, boy, Mike Holmes, he's got to be a tired warrior back there. He's returned about 6 or 7 kicks now.
He's been doing a great job for the Orange on special teams, coming down and securing the catch, but then exploding through the Panthers special teams.
I'm surprised that Briggs keeps going to Holmes. He has 192 return yards today. And it goes right back to number 35, Holmes, this time at the 15-yard line. He's hit, and he's hit hard, but he's still on his feet. I want to say miraculously. We heard some pads popping down there, but he gets over the 25 after a return of 13. Here's an advanced look at upcoming games brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning.
For the Panthers, it doesn't get very easy when they travel to Tampa, Florida on October 2nd. That's a huge game in the Big East Conference. And then they go to Navy. Rutgers very disappointing early, and then they go to Notre Dame, which is always a big game for the Panthers at Notre Dame. Louisville, and then Cincinnati to round out the schedule.
This is Brinkley in the backfield this time for Syracuse. Puts his head down, tries to get up to the 40-yard line. Runs at a couple of Panthers. Number 7, Giovanni Chappelle, along with Scott McKillop.
The attitude of the Orange offensively right now, they have to take a page out of the Pitt playbook. They need one of those drives, Mike, that goes about 10 to 12 plays, takes off about 5 or 5.5 minutes off the clock, and they cash in for 7, not settle to tie this football game. They want to take the football, control it with that line of scrimmage and the running of Curtis Brinkley, and sprinkle in a little bit of Cameron Dantley.
Brinkley's third 100-yard game, 145, 143, 118. This is Brinkley again. Hit as he falls over the 40-yard line. Coming up once again is McKillop. I mentioned the fact McKillop led the nation in tackles, over 12.5 a game last year, 151. He had 332 in high school.
It's 11 first downs for the Orange offensively. They're halfway to their goal, but they want to get a couple more to get inside scoring range right now.
Dantley on play action takes the punishment and fires looking for Dante Davis and overshoots him by about 3 yards. But boy, did he pay the price. Jabal Sheard really lowered the boom along with number 51 Tommy Duhart. Boy, they came in hard.
You have to have courage to play the quarterback position because you're going to get shots delivered from guys that are a lot bigger and stronger than you. And Tommy Duhart did come in and deliver a blow, but Cameron Dantley did a nice job of staying in the pocket and giving his wide receiver a chance to catch this football. And Dante Davis streaking down. You see him get sandwiched in that backfield.
Well, he stood in the pocket, though, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Abdel in motion to the top of your screen. Dantley feeling some pressure. It's a fumble. The ball's on the carpet. It's a scramble of Pittsburgh football. Boy, number 97, Jabal sheared. First turnover. And there you see the look of frustration on the Syracuse fans. The Syracuse football team has played their hearts out, and Jabal sheared. We've called his number a couple of times today.
Yeah, it looked like Romeus from the backside uses that speed rush to get around Trevor Baumbach. He strips the football from behind. Dantley never saw him or felt him coming. And then two Pitt defenders there. Murray as well as sheared on the fumble recovery.
So Romeus in on a big fumble against Iowa late in the ball game as well. So Pittsburgh has possession inside the 35-yard line. McCoy gets the call. He's wrapped up by Nick Santiago, number 95. Gain of 3 on the play for McCoy.
Nick Santiago has played a terrific football game for Greg Robinson, the head coach, and he's done a nice job. He's asking for one big play on his defense. He needs one big play to turn this thing back around to get possession of the football, with Pitt looking at that clock counting down. It's under 7:40 to go in this football game.
And Romeus assisted on 2 sacks and recovered a fumble with 50 seconds remaining to ice the win for the Panthers against Iowa last week, 21-20. McCoy. Ball's down near the 25-yard line of Syracuse. Gain of 6 on the play. Jared Kimmel in on the tackle, defensive end for Syracuse.
Huge play for this Syracuse defense right now, Mike. They have to stop Pitt on 3rd and short. And this is a situation last week for the Panthers at home against Iowa. They did not convert late in the game, and they allowed Iowa to hang around the football game. They've got Doran Dickerson in at that slot back. He could play a big role on 3rd down.
8 for 15 on 3rd downs. McCoy. The shoe came off, and he's down about the 20-yard line. And that's going to be another first down for the Pitt Panthers. 27-24, Pitt by 3 with 6:42, and the clock is rolling right now. Score here could ice it for the Panthers.
Well, definitely the clock, an ally of the Panthers right now with the ball touching the 21-yard line. Syracuse did everything they could to stay in this football game, led all the way till about the 9-minute mark. And now the Panthers trying to get into the end zone one final time.
Pittsburgh with 21 first downs. Of course, that was the goal of Syracuse coming in. McCoy gets the handoff, tries to break to the outside. He's stripped and finally wrestled to the ground by Mike Neely. 6 foot 218-pound sophomore linebacker. Gain of 5 for McCoy.
Looks like McCoy will get a break. Stevens Howling coming in the game for the Panthers at tailback, and it's been a great 1-2 punch. And Dave Wannstedt trying to relay to Bill Stahl, his quarterback, to use all of that 40-second clock. McCoy on the afternoon, 26 carries for 143 yards.
Mentioned he did not have a 100-yard game last week, though. Had the game-winning 27-yard touchdown. But that's something Pittsburgh hasn't had yet, the big home run play, right?
Yeah, they had a big run today by McCoy, but late in the second half.
Rod Stevens Howling dancing his way through traffic inside the 10-yard line. It looks like Pittsburgh's doing a nice job of controlling that offensive line right now.
They've done a nice job all game up front. You know, Syracuse came out and really did a good job defensively early in this game, and now the Panthers look like they've taken some of that momentum and that energy out of the defense by that last turnover, and now they're starting to win the push up front. Well, you really like Howlings, Stevens Howlings. You know, we talked about McCoy maybe stopping his feet in the hole. It looks like Stevens Howling always keeps him moving. He's just always shuffling his feet, going positive in north and south.
Yeah, he's a 1,600-yard rusher coming into the year. McGee in motion. Stevens Howling is wrapped up from behind. Nice tackle by Mike Holmes coming in from the cornerback spot. came in from the blind side. Stevens Howling, only 22 carries coming into the ball game today, but he was averaging 5.4 yards a carry. That's pretty impressive. Probably more impressive, John, is the fact that he's never complained.
No, and that's the type of player he is. He's getting a wealth of carries today, though, and he's done a nice job.
Time now for our Polaris ATV toughest player of the game, Bruce Williams, the safety for Syracuse. 10 tackles and a pass breakup. He's a good player from right here in Syracuse. 54 yards rushing for Stevens Howling. Gets the ball again. Tries to... He's going to break to the outside, cut back in. He's inside the 5-yard line, though.
And very important, gets that first down for the Panthers, and they will start to chew on the clock. And you think that Greg Robinson is going to have to start thinking about using some timeouts. He only has one left, but he has to be very cautious about the clock with under 3 minutes and 47 seconds left to go. Excuse me, he's short of the first down, so third and very short for the Panthers.
We're giving it back to Bruce Williams. 227 receptions for 3,400 yards. Greg Paulus was his high school quarterback here in Syracuse. Paulus, of course, now the point guard at Pitt. 9 of 16 on third downs. Stevens Howling breaks to the outside. He has his second touchdown of the afternoon. So 2 years ago, LaRod Stevens Howlings came into the Carrier Dome, rushed for 221, 1 touchdown. Today he's got a couple of scores.
On third and goal, LaRod Stevens Howling shows you his speed to the outside. Just a nice job of taking it inside and then bouncing it outside. Just a great job of visualizing that and anticipating the bounce to the outside. You can see both running backs, McCoy and Stevens Howlings, excited on that Panther sideline.
Connor Lee, still perfect in his collegiate career with the PATs. And with 3:22 to go in the ball game, Pittsburgh has opened up a 10-point lead, 34-24. Let's go back and take another look at it.
Well, good job of down blocking by the offensive line, and then you see the speed and the vision on the outside. No one gets a hand on LaRod Stevens Howling. He does a nice job of bouncing it to the outside, and now Dave Wannstedt talking to that kickoff cover team who's been torched for a 90-yard touchdown already by Mike Holmes to stay in your lanes and try to get Mike Holmes down on the ground. And on the other side, Greg Robinson has to be dejected because this game was really the way he wanted it to unfold. They came out early and strong and did a nice job, but midway through that fourth quarter, they lost the lead in that big turnover on the hit by Romeus from behind on Dantley.
And I was going to say the operative word there would be turnover. Phil Bennett, the defensive coordinator, has to be happy because they score off of the fumble.
Off of the fumble, you're right.
And he says had to get some turnovers in the ball game. Syracuse came in with 8 takeaways, and Pittsburgh were like -4 on the turnover margin. And Phil Bennett saying that if you don't take it away, you're not going to win football games.
Well, that's the one thing that they mentioned, or Dave Wannstedt mentioned to Quint coming out of halftime, was the defense didn't get any turnovers. Well, they got one, a very big turnover in the fourth quarter and converted it into 7 points.
Luke Briggs ready to kick again. Holmes is back with Max Suter. And this one will finally go to Max Suter. Fumbles it at the 15-yard line. And good solid return up near the 35-yard line. Return of 18 yards for Max Suter. Let's take a look now at the game-changing performance brought to you by Pontiac.
Well, it's the big strip from behind from Greg Romeus. Did a nice job of beating the offensive tackle to the outside. And then the fumble recovery by Sheard really turned this game around. The Pontiac game-changing performance ended up by 2 bookends, Romeus and Sheard.
You know what? His freshman year, he had a big sack on Syracuse with 30 seconds to go to preserve that 20-17 win in Heinz Field last year. Well, he's going to be a good one. Boy, he really passes the eye test, and he hasn't played a lot of football either. Out of the shotgun now, Dantley trying to rally the troops, down by 10. And Dantley's up over the 45-yard line before he's dragged out by McKillop again. A gain of 11 on the play. First down, Syracuse. 3:08 to go.
Good job by Dantley recognizing Pitt in a very soft coverage, soft zone coverage, takes it up the middle for a first down.
Dantley back to pass. This one was deflected. Looked like number 51, Tommy Duhart, was in there once again. Today's Big East football game is produced and distributed by ESPN Regional Television. For more information, log on to ESPNplus.com. I'll tell you one thing, though, John Congemi, that Cameron Dantley, his confidence level has really gone up.
Played really well today.
Starting to look downfield more. A couple of big third down touchdown passes. This was Dante Davis who caught the first touchdown of the game. Gain of 6 on the play. Inside 3 minutes. Clock winding down. 2:48 and counting. Scott McKillopin on another tackle.
Still plenty of time in this football game for Cameron Dantley to pick and choose his receivers. Pitt only bringing 4 defensive linemen to pressure him, so he's going to have some protection. If that offensive line can stay in front and protect him.
Dantley feeling the pressure again. This one's up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. Pittsburgh coming in with 11 sacks, and now they're really starting to turn it up. Put their ears back, and the big guys up front are coming.
And that's really inexcusable. You bring 4 guys, and that Syracuse offensive line lets that penetration come downstairs. You see the tailback just whiffs, and Doug Hogue, and that allows a free lane for the defensive end and Shear to come in and pressure Cameron Dantley.
Well, this will be it now for the Orange. It's 4th and 4. They're down by 10 with 2:25 to go. Twin receivers at the bottom of your screen. Norkerson, the defensive back, up top. And lobs it out for Hogue, and it falls incomplete. But once again, Dantley was feeling a lot of pressure by Jabal Sheard. And number 91, Greg Romeus, both the defensive ends, both sophomores from the state of Florida.
Well, this second half, the defense of the Panthers, especially the 2 defensive ends, Romeus and Sheard, really turned up the pressure on Cameron Dantley. And I think they were too much for that offensive line, especially at the tackle spot, for Syracuse to handle. They've done a nice job of really making Cameron Dantley feel uncomfortable in the pocket.
2 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Pittsburgh up by 10, so if they hold on, which I'm pretty sure they will, they'll move to 3-1 on this 2008 season, but most importantly 1-0 on the Big East. McGee in motion to the bottom of your screen. They keep it on the ground naturally. McCoy, who's had a big game for Pitt, gets over the 50-yard line into Syracuse territory. We're inside the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, the home of the Syracuse Orange. Syracuse hosting the Pitt Panthers, along with John Congemi, Quint Kesnick. I'm Mike Gleason. Great to have you with us for the first of 10 straight Big East games of the week here on the Big East Network. And that young man there, Greg Romeus, very active as the game went on. You see Panthers 5 of the last 6 games versus Syracuse, and they've had some tight ones. And they've really had some tight ones. 20-17 last year. 16 times the game's been decided by a touchdown or less. A couple of double overtime games this decade. But right now, Pitt by 10 points. Time now for our Hampton Inn winning play of the game.
And it's LaRod Stevens-Howling going in from the 3-yard line on 3rd and goal, just using his speed to the outside. Dips it inside and then bounces it outside and outruns Bruce Williams to the end zone.
Under center this time. Stahl. LaRod Stevens-Howling. Or check that. That's not LaRod Stevens-Howling. Mike Mealy made the tackle. There's number 24 with the carry that time for Pittsburgh. That was Collier. That's Kevin Collier, Averin Collier's brother. Averin Collier, of course, is the running back, the #1 recruit out of the state of New York, who went to Syracuse. And there's a pretty good chance he'll be redshirted this year with the running backs they have. McGee in motion. Collier has some running room, breaks it outside, and he's finally dragged down by Andrew Lewis, the sophomore defensive tackle. You know, I mentioned, John, earlier that the winning drive against Iowa in a 21-20 game was 80 yards, but maybe even more impressive for Pitt today.
Well, they've scored on each of the last 6 drives and 3 touchdowns and 3 field goals. So they did a nice job of hanging in there when the game early looked like it could get out of hand. And Syracuse really upped early with big scores, a 90-yard kickoff return, and Dave Wannstedt's team was reeling, and they really just weathered the storm, and they found a way to get back in it, and they got back in it by the kicking game with their field goal, Connor Lee, and then cashing in finally with their running backs.
What about Dave Wannstedt now? Of course, he's got the nickname the closer for 3 straight good recruiting classes, but it would have been devastating to come in here and lose today. But the victory, they go to 3-1, and they pick up the pieces, they build from there.
Well, every game in the Big East Conference is going to be a tough football game, and I don't think there's any layups. And this is an example of one. Syracuse came out with a lot of emotion. They wanted to start their season over and kickstart the Big East Conference in their first game at home. And they did a great job coming out and playing hard, and playing hard for their head coach, Greg Robinson. And that's always a good sign that this team still has a lot of fight to it. But Pittsburgh was just a little bit more talented and made a couple more plays than Syracuse did down the stretch.
So number 56, Joe Thomas, taken out the field. What about Greg Robinson then? He said this football team's not as bad as people think, and we're very close to turning the corner. They came close today.
They were very close today, and all it means is that, you know, as well as they played it, it counts as another loss. You know, so now that's 32 losses in 4 seasons and counting, and Greg Robinson, you know, doing whatever he can to try to get this program back on track. And they were off to a great start today, but they just couldn't finish. They couldn't find a way to put the Panthers away when they had their opportunity.
Well, Pittsburgh came in averaging 123 rushing yards a game. That was dead last in the Big East. And today, 218 yards rushing, a couple of touchdowns, averaging 5.4 yards a carry. Stevens Howling with 71, and McCoy with a big game, 147. So Greg Robinson, they played hard, they played better, but they come up 10 points short against Dave Wannstedt in Pittsburgh. So Syracuse will go to 1-4, and Pitt now 3-1. Your final thoughts?
Well, I thought Pittsburgh did an excellent job of coming back into this football game, and Dave Wannstedt, Matt Cavanaugh, and the defensive coordinators, well, Phil Bennett, they found a way to win this football game. You have to credit the guys on the field, but the coaching really put him in position.
Let's go downstairs now with Quint. He's with Dave Wannstedt. Quint?
Coach, all week long you talked about the emotional challenge that this game represented. How did your guys respond?
Well, we responded well in the second half, but yeah, I must have not done a very good job to start the thing off. And the special teams, you know, I don't know who's coaching them, but they didn't do a very good job starting off either. But our guys, I'll tell you what, we've had a couple character games. We were behind Iowa, came back. You know, today obviously come back. Our guys stayed together. There was a sense of urgency. There was not any panic. And, yeah, this will be good for us. I mean, besides the win, this will be good for the character of our team.
You're down 11 in the second half in this ball game. You scored the last 20 points of the game. What changed?
Well, I think our offense was moving the ball the whole game. We just weren't converting third downs, and then our defense created a couple turnovers. In the first half, we were trying to do a little bit too much, and second half, you know, we simplified things and let our guys play.
LaShawn McCoy, Larod Stevens Howling. How do you characterize what you saw from that duo today?
I'll tell you, yeah, I was happy for Shady, but Larod's going to get a game ball. I mean, the guy made tackles on kickoffs. He made tackles on punts. You know, he's an incredible young man and a heck of a football player.
Coach, congratulations. Got a short week. Play South Florida on Thursday on ESPN.
All right, thanks a lot, Quint. So Dave Wannstedt, they're 3-1 last year, 5-7, 3-4 in the Big East. And remember, they lost 4 games by an average of 4.5 points last year. And of course, the big one over West Virginia, 13-9 to close out the 2007 season. But this is the 2008 Big East opener. Dave Wannstedt and the Pitt Panthers are victorious 34-24 over Syracuse. And LaShawn McCoy had a huge game. Let's go downstairs. He's with Quint now. Quint?
LaShawn, you guys are down 11 points in the third quarter, yet I see you running up and down the sideline, being very positive with your teammates. What were you telling them at that point?
Hey, man, we just got to step up, you know, and respond. Hey, we knew coming here was going to be a fight, you know, the dome and this atmosphere, you know, so I was trying to tell the guys, man, keep motivated, you know, and come out the fight. It's going to be a tough fight, you know, let's respond back.
Larod Stevens Howling, your line mate, basically, 2 touchdowns, yet you're always so positive with him as well. Describe the relationship between you and Larod.
It's more like a big brother, you know, little brother thing, you know. Since day one I walked in, you know, he's helped me through everything, you know, as far as coaching and knowing different things. He's helped me out. I mean, so guys put in his position, you know, so a guy like me competing for jobs, you know, helping me out. I mean, I just feel like he's a big brother to me, you know, and he did it for the whole year, you know.
ball security for you has been an issue. Yet today, a bunch of times, I see you taking that free hand and covering up the ball on contact.
Definitely. I mean, this year, a lot of guys have been canning out for me, you know, and I've been kind of a little frustrated, you know, and the biggest thing, I kept fumbling the ball. You know, coach, he's been patient with me, you know, and he's coaching me through it. And, hey, man, a guy like me, you just got to keep swinging.
Late in the game, you go in front of your offensive line and tell them, hey, they know what's coming, yet they can't stop us. What does that feel like when you're the tailback and they know what's coming, but they can't stop you?
Oh, man, it's a blessing, you know, because them guys in there, man, if they have faith, that's the biggest thing on the offensive line. You got faith, you know, guys know what's coming, the play's coming, and you keep running it, and you're being successful with it. You know, it's just faith.
Mouse traps in the football facility this week?
Yeah, definitely. It was, the concept was just don't get trapped. You know, all the hype, all the preseason hype with the team, and kind of looking over at South Florida Thursday, a big team in the Big East. You know, and Syracuse has been struggling lately, and it kind of overlooked them. So it's more of that concept. Just don't get confused and get trapped.
LaShawn, nice job.
Thank you. Yep.
Mike.
All right, Quint, nice job as well. LaShawn McCoy, the third true freshman in Big East history to run for 1,000 yards, joining Ray Rice and Steve Slayton last year. Led all freshman running backs with 110 yards a game, but John Congemi today at 149.
Yeah, just a terrific afternoon for LaShawn McCoy and LaRod Stevens-Howling. Combined, they had 41 rushes for 220 yards and 2 touchdowns, a 5.4 yards per carry. And I thought it was quite evident what Dave Wanstead and what LaShawn McCoy echoed. Those guys didn't panic. When they were down early in the first half, they didn't panic. They knew they had the team to come back and win. They just needed to get a little help. And they got a little help from that offensive line. They got a little help from Bill Stahl, and they got a big help from a turnover late in the fourth quarter.
And we, of course, Quinn talked about Stevens, Howling, and McCoy, the relationship. They consider themselves, they call themselves Mario and Luigi. Yeah, I can't talk about Billy Sims, but they can talk about Mario.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit more current, but, you know, you get the picture. They've got each other's back, and there's no egos involved. They check those at the door, and whatever it takes for those guys to win football games, and whatever they're asked to do by offensive coordinator Matt Cavanaugh, they do.
More questions to John Congemi on this Pittsburgh running game coming up. 34-24. Pittsburgh prevails here in Syracuse with the Big East opener in 2008. We'll have more from the Carrier Dome right after this. Today's Big East game has been brought to you by Polaris, the world's toughest ATVs. Hampton Hotels. At Hampton, we love having you here. Overstock.com. Shop with the company that supports college football. Overstock.com. At home with the O. PNC leading the way. The first ever Pontiac G8. Build your own at Pontiac.com/G8. And by Tradewinds Beach Resort, the official beach resort of the St. Petersburg Bowl.
The Buick, Pontiac, and GMC employee discount on every 2008. And now, many 2009s. You pay what we pay. But only until September 30th.
Now get a Pontiac G6 with better combined fuel efficiency than Honda Accord. Starting at just $16,720. Hurry, these are the final days of the GM Employee Discount for Everyone event. See your dealer by September 30th.
Sunday, immediately after the Mets' final game at Shea, Matt Yaloff and Lee Mazzilli will have the latest post-game info live from Gate A. Plus, Shea Goodbye, the closing ceremony with all your favorite Mets greats. Sunday immediately after the game on SNY. SNY.TV, the latest info and great features with original content, exclusive interviews, game highlights, and the best insider info. SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports.
When one falls, a family is left behind. And New York loses one of its own. Now it's our turn to answer the call. Because New York takes care of its own. Donate today at answerthecall.org.
Big East on SNY, presented by Emblem Health. This is the post-game show of Game 1 of our doubleheader. Chris Cotter along with Don McPherson and Ray Lucas. The final score, 34-24. Pitt with a come-from-behind win over Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. We're going to get to that game as well as look forward to Game 2 of the doubleheader, Morgan State at Rutgers in a bit. First, I want to remind everybody the Mets are playing right now in a reasonably important baseball game out at Shea Stadium. 2-0 right now. They are in the bottom of the 5th inning, just going to the top of the 5th. Johan Santana pitching brilliantly. Again, 2-0. Mets on top of the Marlins right now. And you'll get Maz, you'll get Matt Yaloff in the post-game show. After that game is over, the game's currently airing on CW11, but tune into SNY immediately following the last pitch. You'll get the post-game show right here. Okay, guys, post-game of our first game. Syracuse had it going in the first half. They fell apart. Ray, what happened in this game for Pitt in the second half that they were able to take control?
Well, I think their defense showed up, but at the same time, I don't think Syracuse went to the well with Cameron Dantley enough. They didn't do it. He didn't throw the ball down the field, and the only 2 times I saw him throw it down the field, they were for touchdowns. You're going to see play-action pass. Watch him get his hips around. Great pass on the outside, and even greater catch right there at the end.
Jeez.
But why aren't they utilizing this young man's arm strength? He obviously has great arm strength. He sees the field well. There was no picks. He didn't do anything in the second half, and he only attempted 10 passes, Don.
You were talking about that in terms of attempting. They need to throw the ball more, and they need to go downfield more.
Yeah, they need to stretch the field vertically, and they just have not taken those shots, especially late in the ball game when they're down and they need to come back. They need a big drive, especially that last drive. You know, it seemed like they were saying the game's over. We're not going to get anywhere with this, so they're dumping the ball in the flat and in the intermediate zones. They need to stretch the field vertically.
All right, first half we were talking about LaShawn McCoy and the fact that okay, but not a superstar performance by him. He was able to get going in the second half, too, and that was a big key for Pitt.
It was a big key for Pitt, but in the first half, the Syracuse defense did a great job of shutting down LaShawn McCoy. Some big hits. The defense played very aggressive. You see those big hits there in the interior line, and then as well from the secondary, they got a lot of big hits. But then in the second half, there goes LaShawn McCoy. He gets the big 34-yard run right there. Gets a seat on it.
He's got an NFL career. Exactly. The fewer hits he takes now, the better.
Live to run another day. And then he really broke the back of the Syracuse defense, wore him out, and by the second half, he was just getting some really big runs.
Talk about Syracuse and what this means in terms of an L. We talked about getting their first win against Northeastern. You know, not a great team, but at least it's a W. You come back, you have a really good first half, you got some momentum. Looks like you might get that big win at home, and then it's a loss.
Yeah, you know, this was a well-played football game, especially in the first half by Syracuse, and a game that they could have used maybe about 14 months ago. Not now. Things are so bad right now. They need a win. It doesn't matter what the win looks like. If it's a Northeastern win, that's fine. They need a win. There's no moral victory here. This team needs to win, and Greg Robinson needs to win if he's going to save his job.
You can say the same thing for Wanstead. I'm thinking at halftime of this game, and when it was 24-13 in the third quarter, I'm thinking this is another bad loss for Wanstead if he can't come back, but he was able to come back.
Well, he was, and I think it has to do with LaShawn McCoy. I mean, he is a workhorse. Yes, you stalled him in the first half, but it doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish. And you saw a good back at the end of the game. He was wearing down that Syracuse, and he took some big shots. And it says a lot about his moxie that he can play, and he gets better as the game goes on.
All right, Rutgers and Morgan State coming your way at the bottom of the hour out in Piscataway. And Ray, you know, this team, Rutgers, they're a bit lost right now, 0-3, and it's a good opportunity. They've played 3 teams that I think will be bowl teams at the end of the year, but now Morgan State comes into town. It's time to right the ship.
Well, absolutely, and I think you right the ship by with Mike Teal. You give him the ball, you let him throw it all over the place. I mean, you know, you have to give him the football, and you have to let him throw it. And you have 2 great wide receivers on the outside. Taekwon Underwood, as you see right there, Kenny Britt. These guys have to do, but this team is like almost leaderless right now. He needs to step up and be accountable. You saw earlier when we showed him after his game was over with, he feels it. He's struggling a little bit, but I think the guys around him can build him up, and with that, you throw the football.
And with the injury to Lovelace now, he knows this is his team no matter what. They're going to sink and die with this guy, or sink or swim with this guy, and so he has to put the team on his shoulders. It's been there all year long, but now he really has to step up.
The importance of a running game to a quarterback, Don. You know, no more Ray Rice. Okay, we know that. Mason Robinson, you tried some other things. Right now, you got a guy, Jordan Brooks, who had a very good game against Navy, his first career start. He's going to get another one today. How important is it for him to get going to relieve some of that pressure off Mike Teal.
It's important for Brooks to get big plays when he has the opportunity. He has to hit the hole fast. I don't think he's going to get the ball too many times today. They really need to throw the ball, give Teal some time throwing the football and get his confidence back. So Brooks really needs to get, when he has those opportunities, he needs to make big plays.
You know, one thing that I noticed too, and a lot of people aren't talking about it because it's all been Teal, is the fact that Fresno State, we were at that game, they ran all over him in the second half. North Carolina blew him out of the building, and Navy's going to run the football, but they did it successfully. This defense is, in some ways, getting off the hook a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, but like they say, you can't, if you don't score, you can't win. But at the same time, the defense needs to step up as well. And let's not forget, everybody is accountable. Not one facet on a college football team makes you win or makes you lose. It takes all three: special teams, defense, and offense to win games.
All right, let's take a look at what's going on around the rest of the Big East this afternoon. Several other teams, or this is rather on SNY, rather. Morgan State at Rutgers. You know about that second half of our Big East doubleheader coming up at the bottom of the hour. And then Mets post-game live immediately following the Mets game, I told you, airing right now on CW11. Matt and Maz will have that for you. And then we'll have continuing coverage of Morgan State Rutgers. So we'll break into the Rutgers game. Hopefully, as Ray says, they'll be up like 24-3 at that point, and no one will be too worried about it.
Better.
All right, coming up, it wasn't pretty last week for Mike Teal and the Scarlet Knights. When we come back, we'll hear from an emotional Teal plus Ray and Don give us their take on the ugly incident at the end of the Navy game. Plus, who says Morgan State is a pushover, especially when guys are making catches like this? Brilliant right there. We'll introduce you to the Bears when we return. Stay tuned.